the reasons why there is such a marvelous appetite here for college football. And when this fight song rings across the flatlands of the Great Plains, I'll guarantee you that everybody with a little red in them from Nebraska will stand at attention, because this is one of the most prideful organizations you'll ever run across in college athletics. They're still cranking up now for the Nebraska fight song, and when they come to it, as the crowd is coming into the stadium, the hand clapping will start a half a mile away as they walk down across the lawns and across the streets to come into the stadium. That'll put a little bit of lilt in your step as you come marching in to Nebraska Stadium. And hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson. You know, these two universities and their respective teams, Alabama and Nebraska, I think can be called pillars of college football. Over the last decade, including their bowl appearances and their wins and losses there, these two teams have averaged each 91 games for a decade in the victory column. That's better than 9 wins per season. Nebraska's been to 8 bowls. Alabama has been to 10 bowls in a row. Now, to give you an example of the appetite for college football here in this community of Lincoln, today is the 89th consecutive sellout. A couple of weeks ago, they advertised that they were thinking about adding 8,000 seats to increase the capacity of this stadium. Well, in a matter of about 10 days, they had 22,000 applications for those proposed 8,000 seats. They do, for a fact, love their college football in Lincoln, Nebraska. We'll have a look at the two teams in just a moment.
2 months ago, my mother called me at school in the middle of the night. My father fell asleep at the wheel of his car. It was touch and go for a while, but yesterday the doctors let him go home. He just can't go back to work for about a year. So now the money they saved to send me to college has to help support the family, not go to work to make up the difference. We made such plans for college. But I guess there's some things that you just don't plan on.
Sometimes a man's disability can cripple his entire family. We at Money, Mutual of New York, believe that when you plan for the future, disability insurance should be part of that plan. A Money agent can create a disability program to help cover your living expenses. He'll also explain how you could receive benefits after you return to work. Call us at Money, because even if you can't support your family, they shouldn't have to support you. Mutual of New York, Money for the future.
All week long, the newspapers of Nebraska have carried stories about the legend coming to town, Paul William Bryant. Bear Bryant, one of the most visible sports personalities of this era. He's earthy, he's charming, he's simple and complicated at the same time. He's a sound administrator, he is a leader, and he's a heck of a football coach, and he talks with Bill Fleming.
Coach, a week ago today, you celebrated your 64th birthday with your 263rd win. Congratulations.
Well, thank you, Bill. I'm holding on those birthdays, but we were mighty glad to win last week because, first of all, it was our first game. It was a conference game, and, of course, they'd beaten us last year, and I really don't know how well we played, but I don't know how good they were.
Now, last year, of course, you had some tremendous defensive players who were lost now. A couple of All-Americans in Baumhauer and Hanna. As a matter of fact, we're playing this weekend in professional ball just as rookies. It's pretty hard to replace those people.
It certainly is, and we haven't. We have one fine lineman, I think, in Marty Lyons, but everyone else will be new. And Marty played a little last year, but our front five will all be new people, and they don't compare with what we had last year at this time. Maybe they'll improve. We hope they'll improve. Later in the year, we could be a good defensive team, but we're not now.
You know, that UCLA victory in the Liberty Bowl had to give you momentum. It certainly had to give you a good springboard for the start of the 77 season.
Well, I don't know. Yes and no. Maybe you're right. I don't know. But it didn't give us much springboard for spring practice because we didn't set the woods on fire in spring practice. You normally play like you practice. And although I'll say this, our people have had, players have had a great attitude, and they worked hard. And I really think that we made some mistakes recruiting. If you lose, why, it's either recruiting or coaching is bad. And we've done far too much losing.
Do you ever foresee the time when you're not coaching a college football team?
No, actually, Bill, I've thought of it. I think everyone has. You get my age, you better be thinking of it. And but I'd rather be doing anything else. And as long as the university wants me to, and as long as I feel like I'm contributing, well, I'm going to stick around. And I really didn't feel this way 12 months ago. And, of course, we go along here and lose 7, 8 straight. You can change your mind in an awful big hurry, too, I'll tell you.
But he's not likely to have a long losing streak with horses like Johnny Davis at fullback and young Tony Nathan at halfback. Nathan's a 198-pounder coming out of the running back position. He can fly inside or outside, but Johnny Davis is the big man. Number 38, a senior out of Montgomery. In his 4th season to play for the Tide. He's never been stopped for a loss. Never. And it doesn't seem to matter what formation is called. You can put him in the wishbone, the eye, the veer, single wing, or Notre Dame box if you want, and he's still going to run over you. Davis averaging right at 6 yards a carry. Johnny's a piano player. He's learning to play the organ. Used to sing with a family quartet, but nobody kids him much about it. They speak reverently to him, as they do to this fella. Number 22, Tony Nathan, junior out of Birmingham. Most sought-after high school player in the South, I guess, when he was making up his mind to go to college. He, like Davis, has been on the varsity since his first day. Nathan is teaming this year with Ozzie Newsome in some of the kick returns, particularly in the punt returns. You'll see number 22 working. Tony making his mark, no doubt about it, as you can see. He is a very dangerous runner. He may be as good or may develop into the kind of a punt returner that Willie Shelby was, used to give Alabama great field position. The fellow who pulls the trigger for the Tide, quarterback Jeff Rutledge, junior from Birmingham, 6'2", 200. In his high school days, Rutledge played at Banks, and his team met Tony Nathan and Woodlawn High School in a championship game they still talk about in Birmingham. Jeff's brother Gary played quarterback at Alabama. Daddy Jack played baseball at Bama, so it's easy to understand why Jeff went over to Tuscaloosa. He's a good enough runner inside, but in passing is where Jeff particularly shines, and especially when he has somebody like number 82, Ozzie Newsome, to go down the field under the ball. Newsome started as a freshman. He has caught 20 or more passes for 3 consecutive seasons. He caught 3 last week for 93 yards against Ole Miss. And whatever you want Ozzie Newsome to do, just tell him. You want him to play tight end, which is where he'll start today, he'll do it. He'll go out there and knock down tackles and linebackers, or if you want him to sprint out and go down as a wide receiver. Working with us is our analyst and color commentator this week, former football coach, University of Arkansas, Mr. Frank Broyles. Frank, nice to have you back.
Thank you, Keith.
Now, I was surprised when I looked at the stats in the Ole Miss-Alabama game to find that Ole Miss had possessioned the ball against Bama in that first half.
This worries the Alabama coaches. They are concerned about the play of their defensive front five to the point that they feel they must improve this week if they're going to stop Nebraska's offense reasonably enough to give their own talented offense field position and enough offensive opportunities.
But now, admitting that Alabama's prime strength is with the offense, one must also be aware they are a little thin on experience at quarterback.
Well, one of the big concerns of the Alabama team, of course, is the vulnerability should an injury occur to Jeff Rutledge. They have no experience behind him, and Keith, you and I know, and we've seen already this year, that if offense without an experienced quarterback is an exercise in futility.
If you lose him, you've got some trouble. But the skill positions are well occupied.
Well, if you look at Alabama's offensive weapons, the wishbone can be successful with a fullback quarterback. If you got the halfback, that's a bonus. If you've got passing, that's icing on the cake, and Alabama's got all 3. Nebraska will be concerned about where they're going to place those defensive men, and 11's not enough. They need 12.
All right. We'll have a look at the Cornhuskers in just a moment.
Hey, look at that. It's a chainsaw with its case.
Uh-oh, somebody left it.
Probably taking a coffee break.
It's a McCulloch Mac 140.
Wow.
It's got automatic oiling.
That's slick.
This is the chain brake safety feature.
Yeah.
It stops the chain in less than 1/10 of a second.
That's fast.
And look at these teeth. They sharpen themselves with a press of a button. Mine don't.
The McCulloch Mac 140. You can't buy another chainsaw with all these features at any price.
That McCulloch's got just about everything.
Yeah, but I bet it can't swim.
Good point.
McCulloch. In the yellow pages, under saws.
Away out west, there was a shoe, got called the Levi's Mountain. Levi's. It knew its call and gave its all. Levi's. On its spirit, it was counting. Levi's. Months went by, the riders tried to take the shoe from Levi's. The mountain reared, rumbled, and roared. Levi's. For the shoe they called Levi's. Levi's. Home was the foothills of Levi's. Levi's feet.
These numbers, I think, reflect a story of what might have been for Nebraska in their 1910 loss to Washington State. Now, you look at yards, and that's sure enough yards to beat almost anybody, considering the fact that the Cougars got a lot less than Nebraska, only 294. But that bottom set of figures, 4 fumbles, tells an awful lot of what Nebraska coaching staff has to be worried about today. And, of course, a lot of the problems begin right with that snap of the ball. The starting quarterback today is Tom Sorley, number 12 on the left, and number 18 on the right is Randy Garcia, who started last week. Now, both Sorley and Garcia were banged up some, but apparently Sorley is the less sore of the two. Now, he's a junior. He'll be throwing a lot today when he does go to the air to Ken Spaeth, the big tight end. And Sorley is a big guy. He can run that ball, and you'll see him active, I think, in the triple option quite a bit today. As for Randy Garcia, now he's a senior out of California, and he needs a little bit of luck in his final year because injuries have been following him over the last 3 years. Incidentally, Ken Spaeth, now he caught 5 passes last week for 121 yards, so it'll be interesting to watch him. The big man in the running back position is Rick Burns. He's the deep man out of the I formation, or they call him the I back. And I think you can call him the hammer. He carried 26 times for 153 yards last week. He weighs 205 pounds out of Wichita Falls, Texas. And he can whip off a 40-yard sprint for you in about 4.5 seconds. He appears this year, I think, Frank Broyles, to have a little more confidence in his running ability in the open field. Now, when he first came to Nebraska, he was particularly good in the straightaway stuff, but once he got out there in the open, it didn't juke you too well. So let's go back for a moment to that quarterback spot and talk about that situation for Nebraska.
Well, Sorley is quite a competitor. Last week's ball game, he separated his shoulder, skied, and came back and played. He got knocked unconscious and came back and played. And the coaches feel he's an outstanding leader. They feel the tougher the competition, the better he plays.
Now, I want to bring this up. This is the first time I can remember in so many years of coming to Nebraska, there isn't a single All-American defensive player out there, and it seems they always have one or two.
They don't have that big bell cow that they've had in the past, the Jacobson, the Glovers, the Duttons that could demoralize the opponent's offense in 1 or 2 plays. So I would say that there's a good chance that they'll crowd Alabama's rushing game, and when they do, it forces a man-for-man coverage on their good receivers, and
that's a gamble.
That is a big gamble. When we tried to do that, we'd always put the halfback in the game and wish him well.
And so what you're saying is what you said a while ago. You need 12 men on defense when you go out there against a bunch like Alabama.
That's correct. They have all the weapons, and it's going to be tough for them to decide what they want to do.
All right. They're ready to polish the ball and put it on the tee, and we'll continue in just a moment.
That's urban renewal for you. Did you come here often?
If unique is what you seek, Colt 45 malt liquor.
When my husband came to work here, they gave him a life insurance policy. He said, if anything happens to me, at least you and the kids will be okay. And that's what I thought, until he died. And the life insurance that seemed like so much when we talked about it isn't nearly enough now that we need it.
Sometimes a man can provide for his family, yet not really provide enough. Talk to us at Money about your life insurance needs. Mutual of New York. Money for the future.
Next Saturday, NCAA college football regional coverage features the first meeting ever between Oklahoma and Ohio State and 4 other outstanding games. Check local listings for the game and time in your area for NCAA college football on ABC.
You know, the football program here at the University of Nebraska has always been somewhat unique whereas most major institutions will dress about 100 or 110 players. Believe it or not, Nebraska has 182 in uniform. Now, the reason for this is that they have a tremendous number of walk-ons here. A walk-on athlete, of course, is a fellow who doesn't have a scholarship. They have always heavily recruited walk-ons, and they still do, for the simple reason that they hold a few scholarships back in hopes that one of the walk-ons will prove to be a star-caliber player. Now, really, a walk-on is a kind of a tough kid to recruit. You can't offer him anything other than a couple of football tickets to every game, and in return for that, perhaps someday he could earn a scholarship, a full-ride scholarship. Not too much to bank on, but when you realize that Keith Stewart, starting fullback, Isaiah Hipp, a halfback, and also Larry Malasic, a defensive back who is a starter, are all walk-ons for Nebraska, you have to realize that the program does indeed pay off. And as we get underway today here at Lincoln, Nebraska, let's give you a score of one of our other games, and we'll be keeping you up to date on those games throughout the day. Penn State is leading Houston by the score of 7-0. Now from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska, this is Bill Fleming inviting you to join Keith Jackson, Frank Broyles, and me for ABC's exclusive telecast of the third-ranked Crimson Tide of Alabama against the Cornhuskers of Nebraska.
The Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew come face to face with Dracula. Then,
My sharks can kill.
the $6 million man faces a fight to the finish with a great white shark. Right after the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew.
On ABC.
Number 10, what's your reason for breaking the hamburger habit at Arby's?
You're looking at it. A big roast beef platter with potatoes and coleslaw. Arby's is a big change of taste.
And you, ma'am?
Because a busy family like ours can get a wholesome meal.
Arby's is a wholesome change of taste.
And you, sir?
Arby's is a big, juicy, fresh, wholesome, lean, luscious. Arby's is a big, juicy.
Serving you in Omaha, Bellevue, Lincoln, and Grand Island.
When you're asleep, a fire could start without your even knowing it. That's why Nebraska Federal Savings wants to help you protect your home with a First Alert smoke detector. First Alert has a battery-powered alarm that signals a fire's earliest stages, and it's yours at a very special low price, with an addition to a new or existing savings account or with a Big N home improvement loan. Every home, apartment, or mobile home needs this professional protection. Get yours at Nebraska Federal Savings.
Your All-American Other Guys coaching staff, the B.F. Goodrich Independent Tire and Service Dealers, bringing you this year's strategy for making your car a winner. Coach Gene Weaver, 25th and West Broadway.
Take the offensive. I'll maneuver your winter problems with B.F. Goodrich snow tires.
Coach Ray Adolph, 24th and I, South Omaha.
Keep your car in shape with our tune-ups.
Coaches Jack and Dan Frost, 75th and Pacific.
Our brakes and wheel alignment. The best offense is a great defense.
Try all three strategies at all three B.F. Goodrich independent dealers.
Channel 7's the one.
NCAA football from Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. The Alabama Crimson Tide, third ranked in the nation, takes on the Cornhuskers of Nebraska. This ABC Sports Exclusive is brought to you by Texaco, working to keep your trust for 75 years by bringing you quality gasoline and other fine automotive products. By Light Beer, everything you always wanted in a beer and less. And by Kentucky Fried Chicken for hot, tender, finger-licking good chicken and fixins. A good meal is still a good deal at the Colonel's. And here come the Alabama Crimson Tide onto the field, followed by the Nebraska Cornhuskers. There is no doubt about who this crowd belongs to, is there? This is the first time these two teams have ever met in the regular season. And hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson to call the play-by-play. Frank Broyles is our color analyst and commentator, Bill Fleming. We'll be keeping you up to date on what's going down on the field and some of the leading scores around the country. Frank, a summary comment from you before we have the kickoff.
Sometimes in college football, if a team gets a 2-touchdown lead, they'll sit on it and let the other team make mistakes and get ahead. Not today. Both teams know how to play catch-up football. Bear will break his wishbone, put men in motion, do anything to get the big play. Nebraska has always had a sophisticated pass offense, both from the regular formation and from the spreads. Anything to give them a big play, and they can make it.
And they're not timid about putting it up late in the game.
Anywhere on the field, you can expect either team to throw and make the big play.
It is a capacity crowd of some 76,000. It's the 89th consecutive sellout they have had in this football stadium, and the roar that greeted this Nebraska team when they came on is the kind of a thing that opens up the adrenaline well.
Well, I think everybody in the stadium's hands are a little sweaty, and their stomach is a little empty, and their throat's dry, and it's hard to swallow, just like mine is.
After 19 years at Arkansas, I can understand why you'd feel that way. But the heat's on, the pressure's out, as Nebraska tries to shake off the loss of last week to Washington State and put one on the Bear and the Crimson Tide of Alabama. And let me tell you, that will take some putting, because these are two very good football teams ready to square off for game number 2 of 1977. We'll put it on the tee in a moment.
We played great as a team.
I operated the offense.
And I directed the defense.
And now we both drink light beer from Miller.
Not just because it tastes great, but also because it's got 1/3 less calories than their regular beer. It's less filling.
Hey, bartender, 2 more lights here. What's it all mean, Casey?
Simple, Sam.
If you want to keep up with the Joneses, you better drink light beer.
Light beer from Miller. Everything you always wanted in a beer, and less.
Bob Hope on the bridge of a Texaco supertanker, fog-bound near Milford Haven, Wales. But watch. No, it's not magic. It's a tanker simulator on dry land in New York. Almost anything we confront at sea can be recreated here by computer. It's all part of Texaco's ongoing tanker training program. That makes sure our experienced officers continue to keep their tankers in our seas ship-shape. At Texaco, we're working to keep your trust.
Alabama kicks off to Nebraska. The kick goes to the end zone, out of the end zone. And so the first drama of the game will be delayed for just a moment as the ball is brought back to the 20-yard line, where the Nebraska Cornhuskers will have it first down. And this is the group of people that'll be working Tom Soley at quarterback. Rick Burns, the deep man out of the I formation. Keith Stewart is the fullback, and the wingback is Curtis Craig. And Tim Smith is the split end, also the punter. From the 20, first down for Nebraska. Craig is in the slot to the right side. Smith is also wide that way. And here's the pitch to Burns, the blocking over the left side. He's to the 25-yard line before he is brought down by John Knox, defensive end for Alabama. Nebraska in the home red shirts, and Alabama wearing the road white. An afternoon where the field is wet. We had a granddaddy thunderstorm come through here last night and dumped rain and electrified the sky, but it's a calm, peaceful, and cool day today. Second down. And a long 5, and they send it up the middle with the fullback Stewart, and there's absolutely nothing there as number 59, Terry Jones, the middle guard from Sandersville, Georgia, jams it up. Up front for Nebraska, the offensive unit breaks down with Kevin Clark, 250-pounder at tackle, Greg Jordan, 235 at guard, Tom Davis, 238 at center, Steve Lindquist, he's 250 at the right side, and Stan Waldemore, 260 at tackle. The tight end is Ken Spaeth, and he's a very good one. It is third down and 4 yards to go for Nebraska from their own 26-yard line. And Soley rolls. He throws it short, and he misses Ken Spaeth, the tight end. So Nebraska now will have to go to the punt. And let's see what Alabama can do as you see the young men who held off the first offensive move by Nebraska, Hamilton, Lyons, Jones, Hanna, and Collins. Linebackers, Wingo and Gilliland, and the defensive secondary for Alabama, McNeil, Tucker, Legg, and Kramer. Tim Smith, the split end, will do the punting. And deep for Alabama, it is Ozzie Newsome, number 82. Good snap. Kick is short. It's into the wind, but it takes a little bit of a Nebraska bounce, and so the Alabama Crimson Tide, operating out of the wishbone, will get good field position after a 28-yard punt. The ball is marked out at the 46-yard line of Alabama. And so here comes the Tide now with very good field position, even at a point where they might figure to pull a different kind of a play out of the hat and go for something exciting with Jeff Rutledge at quarterback, Tony Nathan at halfback. Major Ogilvie is getting his first start, freshman at wingback, and Johnny Davis is the fullback. They're out of the wishbone in the first series. Rutledge, he's back to throw, and he tries to go deep. It is intercepted. It was a bad pass, and it was picked off by Ted Harvey. And how do you do? If anything can steam up a football team early, it is a moment like that. They were trying to go deep on the first play of the game for Newsom, and Rutledge was troublesome as he delivered the ball. He underthrew his men considerably. I might point out for you Alabama partisans that Mr. Newsom was wide open and gone if Rutledge had been able to get the ball to him, but he didn't. Defensive pressure by Nebraska hampering the move. The Cornhuskers go to work now just inside the Alabama 33-yard line with Stewart and Burns set behind Sorley. Sorley gives to Richard Burns, and he cuts it over the left side to the 29 to 28-yard line. He got the better part of 4 yards on that move before Terry Jones, the middle guard, makes the tackle. So, Frank Royals, here's Nebraska with an opportunity.
Defense has got to really be strong here. It's demoralizing to take the field right back after they stopped in the first series.
Jeff Lee in its split end. Tim Smith is out for Nebraska. Craig is in the slot. I formation. Second down, 6. Pitch to Burns. He ran through an arm tackle to get inside the 25. He tumbles down close to first down yardage. I do believe he'll be about a yard short of it. He was brought down by Rich Wingo, number 36, and Don McNeil, number 28. Derek Krause, who has been an outstanding linebacker for Alabama, has a pinched nerve, a jammed neck problem, and will probably play today, but not all that much. Spaeth is in now. A tight end offense. Dufresne comes in, number 88, another tight end. It is third down and a yard to go from just inside the Alabama 24-yard line. First touchdown in the ball game is always very important. They throw it. The pass is good. And then falling down is Jeff Lee, the wide receiver, as he turned it back inside, but he got the first down. And so Nebraska, surprisingly, goes to the pass to keep possession.
That is a surprise because it was third and short, and you'd think they'd run twice, but they're out to win this ball game and get Alabama's defense off balance.
The football is sitting exactly on the 18-yard line of Alabama. First down, Nebraska. Interception of a Rutledge pass by Ted Harvey set up this opportunity for Nebraska. Sorley turns inside to Craig. The wingback counting goes to the 11-yard line. Mike Kramer brought him down, so a little counter with that wingback works very well.
Misdirection play that had the linebackers running. The offensive lineman could set their blocks and open up a hole.
So he gets it down to the 11-yard line for a gain of 7. It is second down and a short 3, just inside the Alabama 11. Jeff Lee is wide to the right for Nebraska. Stand-up pass intended for Spaeth, the tight end, and Sorley had him open and missed him. Spaeth, as he stood up and came across from the tight end position on the left side, stepped in front of Mike Tucker, but Sorley missed him. Tucker was there to knock it away.
Keith, the quarterback Sorley audibilized both of those passes on running situations, and that means that the coach has got confidence in him.
Spaeth is 6'5", 230. Tucker 6 feet, 175. A little bit of a mismatch. That's what he wanted. It is third down, and they need 3. Here's the pitch to Burns. No, sir. Good defensive play by Rich Wingo. Number 36, a junior out of Elkhart, Indiana, a linebacker who shot the gap on the left side and got his man. That will now back up Nebraska a yard to the 12, and it brings on the field. I would think a kicking tee, and there he is, number 14, Billy Todd, a junior out of Chandler, Arizona. He's a left footer, and he'll kick it out of Tom Sawyer's hole. He hits it at the 18. It is good. So Alabama gives up the field goal, probably feeling lucky they got out of it without giving up 6. At 10:38 to go first quarter. Nebraska leads it 3-0.
This is a Napa maintenance log packed with checklists, maintenance tips, and service records. By checking it from time to time, your Gold Hat mechanic can help you keep up with needed auto service. And as a maintenance record, it could make your car worth more at trade-in time. So pick up your Napa log at stations and garages displaying this sign. It's absolutely free. But it could be the most valuable thing you ever put in your glove compartment. That's NAPA. We help keep America moving.
I like my chicken finger licking good.
It's a treat for the family, bigger treat for the mother. Made my life easier.
I like my chicken finger licking good.
Probably cheaper to make it at home, but not when you count my time, which is very valuable.
I like my chicken finger licking good.
It's excellent chicken, of course, otherwise it wouldn't be Kentucky Fried Chicken.
This turkey here, Kentucky Fried Chicken's the only thing I can get him to eat.
The Nebraska cheerleaders, the Alabama cheerleaders, that happens to be in white Alabamas. They're all active here today. The stadium is packed. You have deep. Number 22, Tony Nathan, and number 41, Mitch Ferguson. And kicking off, it is Billy Todd, who hit the 28-yard field goal. He hits it to Ferguson, who fumbles it. And he finally kicks it out of bounds, so Alabama having a rough start. The Crimson Tide will get the football first down at their own 9-yard line, and Randy Kick was right down there causing trouble. Ohio State in the first quarter jumping out to a lead of 7-0 over Minnesota. Penn State leading Houston 10-7 in the first quarter, and Pitt over William & Mary 7-0 first quarter. Army over VMI 7-0. Here comes Alabama to the line. First down at the 9. Got to be careful. They tried the long pass on the first play while a goal was picked off. Let's see what happens this time as Rutledge turns and gives to the big bull Davis. And Johnny Davis moves from the 9 to the 13. Pullen and Carpenter making the tackle. There are other scores around the country as Carolina State gets to a 3-0 lead in the first period over Syracuse. Syracuse losing last week to Oregon State. West Virginia is out on top of Maryland in the first period, 7-0. Bit of a surprise there, but then Maryland came late last week to beat Clemson. Second down. Let's call it 7 yards to go, just outside the Tide 12. Go to Davis again. Davis takes a solid whack as he comes to the line of scrimmage from Randy Peschel. Peschel is a 270-pound junior from Fremont. Davis weighs about 227. There was a heck of a collision there as he got it up to the 15.
Alabama has been trained, Keith, to game or break goes against them early, to put on more steam. Don't let up.
It is third down. They've got to go to the 19 for the first down. So it's third and a long 4 for Alabama. Rutledge has still got it on the option, turns to the 20, goes to the 25, and it's first down for the Crimson Tide. So the quarterback keeps on the triple option coming out of the backfield, and it's first down just beyond the 25-yard line. Now, Jack O'Rear, a fellow we saw absolutely destroy Tennessee last year running the ball, he's having trouble shaking off some knee surgery. And the good part of the burden of quarterbacking obviously rests with Rutledge, and he's a better runner than some people want to give him credit for. They mark him down actually at the 24, where it is first down for Alabama. Pass is in the air. The pass is drilled and caught by number 8, Rick Neal, the tight end. So that gain is out to about the 33-yard line. Here's Bill Fleming.
Heath, I think we may have an upset of the making here today. West Virginia is now leading Maryland 14-0 in the first quarter, with Dave Riley scoring twice. First of all, with a 3-yard run, and then he shocked Maryland with a 54-yarder. So it's 14-0 with West Virginia's Mountaineers in front.
Well, hello. Tim Travis now has gone wide right for Alabama, number 88. On second down and 2, Rutledge hands it inside to Johnny Davis, the big fullback, to the 42-yard line. It's another Alabama first down. Now Nebraska, as Alabama begins to work its way out of hole, starting from its own 9, has moved the ball now to the 42 for a first down, where they have field position, where they can go wide. It may be the time that Nebraska is going to have to start making some defensive adjustments.
They've been playing loose, Keith. They're going to have to crowd them a little more.
Rutledge stands to throw. Goes over the middle with it. Pass is incomplete. The intended receiver, Neal, got tangled up down there, number 8, and fell out of bounds. He's talking to one of the officials about interference. Bear walked out on the field, and he argued a little bit for it. But in the meantime, up front, watch number 38, Lee Kuntz, the linebacker.
He's unblocked, Keith. He rushes from around the defensive tackle. The center couldn't get him, and he's right on top of Rutledge as he passed the ball.
Just a little calling card. The referee today is Earl Shostrom. We'll set the other officials in a moment. From the 42, second down, 10, Alabama. High formation, pitch goes to Tony Nathan. Oh, he's 198 pounds, and I'll guarantee you, he's got enough muscle to blow you down, as he did there. They seemed to have him pinched, but he popped right on through and moved it for 6 yards to the 48-yard line. The umpire is Harold Johnson. The linesman is Frank Ellis. The line judge is Henry Hare. Joe Delaney Jr. is the field judge, and Don Upson is the back judge. It's a combination of Southeastern Conference and Big 8 officials, evenly split. Third down and 4 from the 48 for Alabama. Rutledge will throw it again to Newsom. Ozzy's there. He's got it. And he's belted out at the 40. It's a first down for Alabama. Ted Harvey, playing him loose, knocked him out.
Newsom, Keith, just runs a simple out pattern because the defensive secondary are playing him deep. They are willing to give up the short pass to try to take away the bomb.
Mr. Newsom, however, with the football, can translate a short one into a long one very quickly.
Runs like a halfback.
First down, Alabama at the Nebraska 40. Nathan. Back to Rutledge. Over the middle it goes for Newsom. He's got it. He falls down at the 8-yard line, the 7-yard line, and he beat Ted Harvey. Now, Ozzie Newsom is 6'3", 210. Harvey is 5'10", 175. Rutledge put it on the money.
That was a dipsy-doodle play, Keith. They pitched the ball back to Nathan to run the sweep. Then he handed forward to Rutledge, the quarterback. He retreated. In the meantime, the receiver went down and inside, faking like it was a run the other way, broke outside, and Rutledge had the ball right on target.
2 catches, 45 yards for Ozzie Newsom. First down, goal to go. Alabama at the Nebraska 7-yard line. Rutledge on a keeper. Touchdown! Johnny Davis, the fullback, opened the door, and Jeff took it in, and the Tide takes the lead at 7 minutes and 36 seconds to go in the first quarter.
Keith, it looks like that Nebraska is going to play Alabama as we suspected and make Rutledge keep the ball on nearly every option play. Crowd Davis up the middle. Don't let him get the pitch and tire him out.
Roger Chapman comes onto the field now, number 3, to handle the kicking chores. Jones holds. Chapman's kick is good. And so, the Alabama Crimson Tide go 91 yards in 10 plays and lead by 7-3.
Chevrolet announces a lot more Chevette for a lot less money. New Chevette standard equipment includes a radio, white wall tires, console, sports steering wheel, 1.6-liter engine, 17 new standard features in all. Front bucket seats, plus a wide hatch, carpeting, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, and more. The 78 Chevy Chevette. A lot more Chevette for a lot less money.
Come on, Bobby. The guys came around this morning and said, Bobby, want to play some ball? So I changed into my jeans. 100% cotton denim. Naturally tough, naturally comfortable. Sears calls them fitting jeans. And they're made with Sanford set, so they resist wrinkles and shrinking. They stay looking neat. See, I know Mary Ellen walks by here every day. Hey, Bobby, come on. When you're looking at blue jeans, check the label. Make sure you're looking at 100% cotton denim.
Here is the play that set up the go-ahead touchdown for Alabama, number 82, Ozzie Newsom.
It was a dipsy-doodle where they pitched the ball to Nathan. He handed back to the quarterback. Newsom went in and out, one of the toughest plays to defend in football.
The play was good for 33 yards and then set up the 7-yard touchdown run by Jeff Rutledge on a big block by Johnny Davis. And as you said while we were away, Frank, you saw all the tools of Alabama on that drive.
Inside, outside, short passes, and deep. What more can you do?
Frank Lockett, 80, Curtis Craig, 33 are the deep men for Nebraska as Chapman gets ready to kick off. He puts this one in the end zone and out of it, too. So he's kicked the ball twice from the tee, and he has knocked it through the end zone. Bear told me yesterday that he knocked every one of them last week against Ole Miss in the end zone.
That's demoralizing, has a demoralizing effect on the Nebraska team to have to start from the 20 and don't have any chance to return the kickoff.
Now check the offensive lineup as Nebraska comes to the ball as they send Tim Smith wide to the right side. Soley is the quarterback with Stewart and Burns behind him out of the I formation. Alabama has taken the lead 7-3, and the ball goes to Burns, and he blows it up the middle to the 29, just short of the 30-yard line.
Here's the replay. It's a sprint draw. Hand the ball deep and run for daylight, and he runs right by the unblocked Gaylord, number 92.
Second down and 1 for Nebraska at their own 29-yard line. Jeff Lee is in a wide receiver position with Earl Everett at wingback for Nebraska. They take it inside. I think a mess up by Nebraska as the linesman across the field threw the flag on the play. So we've got a penalty coming as Stewart banged into the middle, and Dartmouth leads Princeton 7-0 in the first quarter. Earl Shostrom out of the Big 8 Conference, the referee, indicating the illegal procedure or motion penalty against Nebraska. Rutgers over Bucknell, 7-0. Colgate leading Lafayette, 7-0. But the big shocker so far has been West Virginia leading Maryland 14-0 in the first quarter. Other scores, Michigan getting on top of Duke in the first period, 7-0, and Ohio State, same score over the Golden Gophers of Minnesota. Texas A&M, Virginia Tech got a fair one going at Blacksburg today at 7-6 in the second quarter. The penalty is accepted by Alabama. Nebraska moved back to its 24-yard line, where it is second down and 6. Alabama with a 5-man front. 2 linebackers are right in tight. Cornerback creeps in to make it, in a sense, 3 linebackers. As the screen, it is thrown to Richard Burns, the I-back, as they swing it out, trying to get him one-on-one and see if he can find a little daylight. But Rich Wingo, 36, the linebacker, was there. A strong safety, Murray Legg, for Alabama in white. Now, this is the 3rd time that I've seen him go almost into a linebacker position.
What they're trying to do is confuse the quarterback who's audibilizing at the line, which caused the penalty just in the previous play.
3rd down and a long 3 yards for Nebraska for its first down. It's Burns. He's short. Good defensive play by John Knox, number 64, a sophomore from Lipscomb, Alabama. He penetrated, reached out, got just enough to knock Burns down. So it brings up a kicking situation for Nebraska. The man who does the punting is Tim Smith, the tight end. He had a 28-yarder in his first effort. Ozzie Newsome is deep. Has already been a very important figure in this ball game. All the time in the world for Smith's kick. It takes a Nebraska bounce. As a matter of fact, it took a heck of a Nebraska bounce. He rolled inside the 20 all the way down to the 18-yard line. 5:28 to go. First quarter, 7-3, Alabama. Here's Bill Clinton.
Keith, many of our fans are going to be watching Penn State next week, and right now Penn State is out in front of Houston 17-7. Mike Gooman scored first for Penn State, and then Alois Blackwell for Houston. Then Matt Barr kicked a field goal of 28 yards, and finally, to complete the scoring so far for Penn State is Chuck Fusina. 29-yard pass to Scott Fitzke. Okay?
First down at the 18-yard line for Alabama. They lead 7-3. Rutledge keeps it. Well, I tell you, he's getting a whole lot of room on that option. He's all the way out close to the 30-yard line for a first down as Jim Pillen ran him down.
In all probability, they're going to change their defense and bring the ends to make Rutledge have a change of pace and not know exactly what to do with that option play. The end ran from him.
Well, I'll tell you, if they want him to run the ball, as of this point, it's a mistake. He's carried 3 times. He's gained 28 yards and scored a touchdown. Stands up to throw it. Goes to the sidelines. The pass is complete. The receiver is knocked out of bounds. Bruce Bolton, working at split end, a junior from Memphis. They're going to put him outside of the 40. And that will be an Alabama first down at the 41.
Most teams at defensive wishbone will give you that pass. Alabama's the only one I know that'll throw it.
Rutledge almost down behind the line. Maintains his balance. 2 hands on the ball. He gets about a yard, maybe 2, as Harvey and Kuntz made the stop for Nebraska. Kuntz was coming.
On the replay, you'll see the defensive end crash and force Rutledge into a quick decision, but Kuntz takes on the fullback Davis and rolls off and helps on the play. They did change their responsibilities.
And it's second down and 9 for Alabama at their own 42. With 4:25 to go first quarter. Rutledge to throw. Ball is batted in the air, and the pass is incomplete. Bill Barnett, defensive tackle, the man that swatted it up. You know, actually, Jeff could have caught the ball, but it's the little things that add up to the big things. If he had caught the ball back there, it's a loss. Okay. So just having the presence of mind to let the ball drop and, in a sense, protect it so nobody else gets to it.
That young man will never panic. He's been there.
Barnett made a heck of a play. A sophomore, 6'5", 235 from Afton, Minnesota. It's third down, 9 from the 42. Rutledge wants to throw and dumps it. That should get a flag. No, didn't. George Andrews, defensive right end, number 96, came blowing in, and the referee Shostrom was standing right there, and there was an Alabama man close enough to the ball that he didn't throw the flag for intentional grounding.
Under college rules, it's practically impossible for intentional grounding to be called. Anybody, either team, in any side, any part of the area, it's not intentional.
All right, here's the punt now for Buddy Holt out of Demopolis, Alabama, a junior. He'll get a little help from the wind, I think, and he just knocked it out of the county. Holy smokes, it's a cannon shot into the end zone. He hung it up there almost 5 seconds. He kicked it 58 yards. 4:06 to play first quarter. Alabama leads 7-3.
I got Midas-sized in 19 minutes, 32 seconds. A new world's record.
I got Midas-sized in 27 minutes flat. So why'd I bother to get out of the car?
Midas can usually Midas-size your car in 30 minutes or less. And if anything ever goes wrong, we'll replace the muffler free for as long as you own your American-made car. In a hurry, come to Midas.
Time sure flies when you Midas-size.
Very nice work, Brother Dominic.
Thank you.
Very nice. Now, I would like 500 more sets.
Could you do a big job for me?
The Xerox 9200 duplicating system can automatically reduce, duplicate, and assemble countless sets at an incredible 2 pages per second.
It's a miracle.
High school activities programs require about 1% of the total school budget in most communities, the best bargain in education. The National Federation of State High School Associations urges your support for your local high school activities program, educating boys and girls with unmatched economic efficiency.
On ABC's Wide World of Sports today, a lot of fun for you, the Cheyenne Rodeo, some great moments in boxing, the Women's National AU Platform Diving Championship, and a special report on the Italian Grand Prix won by Mario Andretti. That's at 5 Pacific time following the football game for the rest of the country. Nebraska to the attack. And the ball inside to Monty Anthony now, who is in there at fullback, replacing Stewart. Anthony, of course, just dogged by bad luck last year. Had a couple of operations, separated shoulder, broken wrist. Then on top of all of that, with so much time in the hospital, he had a little trouble with his books. But he worked this summer and got himself eligible to play football again this fall. Second down, call it 7 yards to go for Nebraska from their own 23. Sorley wants to throw. Runs it up the middle. Good work by the Alabama defensive secondary. Sorley looked downfield, could not see an uncovered white red shirt. All he could see was white, so he pulled it down and ran it up to the 27-yard line, where Ricky Gilliland and Wayne Hamilton made the stop.
Keith, he audibilized to a pass when Legg, the linebacker, the safety, looked like he's going to fire.
And then Legg dropped off.
And then he
was
dropped
in the
off.
short zone and messed up the whole thing for him. Third down, 2. Long 2. Burns, he wants to throw. He throws it over the middle. The pass is complete to Curtis Craig. It's a foot race. Craig is out of bounds. He's down at the Alabama 35-yard line. Mike Tucker saved the touchdown.
Keith, that's an unusual play. It's a pitch sweep where Byrne was going to throw deep, it looks like, to the split end Lee, but the wingback Craig is the delayed man across the middle, and he's open, and he hits him right on target.
And it's a gain of 37 yards. First down, Nebraska at the Alabama 36-yard line with 2:25 to go in the first quarter. The Tide leading by a score of 7-3. Burns. A reverse to Smith, and back to Sorley, and Sorley throws it, and it is caught by Spaeth, the tight end. Boy, Tom Osborne brought the playbook today, didn't he? Holy cow. Reminds me of the Boomerooski he pulled on Missouri 2 years ago.
That looks like a touch football game. It's actually the same play Alabama threw, except they threw to the strong side. It's a pitch, it's a handback reverse, and then he laterals to the tailback, and he throws strong side.
Randy Garcia has come into the lineup now for Sorley, who apparently was shaken up on that last play. Randy Garcia, a senior out of Los Angeles, California, is now in at quarterback. First down at the 25-yard line of Alabama for Nebraska. Garcia gives to Burns. And Burns running hard. Goes inside the 15 to the 14. Blowing a big hole up the middle. Davis and Jorgensen and Lindquist. Let's go back to that fancy thing we saw a moment ago.
Sorley laterals to Byrne, who hands to the wide receiver, who laterals to the quarterback, and he throws to the original man that handed the ball off.
Whatever, it worked. It's first down at the 14 of Alabama. Nebraska bidding for the lead in the late moments of the first quarter. Monty Anthony out of the fullback position is to the 8-yard line before Dewey Mitchell, the linebacker, can bring him down. So this Nebraska team that fumbled at critical times last week turned the ball over 4 times while running up a lot of yardage. They have been something to see today against the Crimson Tide.
I look for Alabama to call timeout. Those 2 pass patterns have really upset them, and they're opening up big holes because they've got that momentum.
Phil Allman is now in at a defensive back for Alabama. He's out there with Jeff Lee, covering him one-on-one. They hand it off inside to the fullback, Monty Anthony. Barry Krause is in the game, number 71, and Dewey Mitchell, 61, to make that stop. They are hitting on the field. Have a look at it.
This is a handoff up the middle, and the linebackers scrape off. And they're unblocked, as you can see. Number 77 and number 61 were unblocked, and they scraped when they recognized the play.
It is third down now, and they need a long 3 yards for their first down. Just outside the 7, they've got to go to the 4. They send Burns in motion. It's Garcia rolls. He throws in the end zone. It is incomplete, intended for Curtis Craig. Both linebackers came peeling back into the end zone to help defend, and it was Phil Allman who was the highest of the reachers. And so it is 4th down for Nebraska with 31 seconds to go. And onto the field comes the kicking team.
Keith, their quarterback audibilized again, and Alabama recognized it and dropped out of their running defense and retreated to cover the pass.
Story on Sorley is he has re-bruised the same shoulder, the right shoulder, that he hurt last week. Randy Garcia will hold, and Billy Todd will try for his second field goal of the afternoon. He hits it from the 14. Oh, it's fake. Garcia rolling out. He throws it. It is caught. It is a touchdown for Nebraska. Rick Burns took it in. The game of football is supposed to be fun. And when you can play it like that, everybody's got to enjoy it.
Keith, that was a gutty call. 3 points wouldn't help them. They surprised Alabama, but then Alabama recovered, and they made a great play to complete the pass and score.
Now the try for the extra point by Billy Todd as Nebraska gets back on top. The crowd yells yes. The referee says it's good. And so with 26 seconds to play in the first period, we've got 17 points on the board as Nebraska leads it 10-7. Watch the fake.
They fake the kick. He can put the ball on the tee under the present rule. He sidesteps a couple of men, and the halfback Burns slips out in the flat, and Alabama had him covered. Just an exceptional play.
He looked deep into the end zone looking for Spaeth, I think it was, and he wasn't available, and he saw Burns coming across. Now, Burns leaving the blocker put Garcia in some jeopardy because Alabama had some good pressure on him. He drilled it, and Burns put it where it was supposed to be, in the end zone. Now they'll kick off. Todd will kick it. Deep for Alabama, it is Major Ogilvy and Tony Nathan. It's going to Ogilvy, the freshman from Birmingham, at the 11. And he comes to the 27, where he is buried. And Larry Young made the hit on him. ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. The return of Dandy Don Meredith to join Howard Cosell and Frank Gifford next Monday night at 9 Eastern Time. The San Francisco 49ers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. They've not met since 1973. Be fun to see that one as Dandy Don comes back to ABC. So here we go now with first down for Alabama at the 27. They trail 10-7. And Rutledge gives to the second man, Nathan, over the right side. Nathan is cut down at the 31. The way Nebraska is flipping that ball around the field harks you back to the days of Devaney when he had all the horses and Johnny Rogers running up and down the field. Time has run out now after one period of play. Nebraska 10, Alabama 7.
City streets or highway speeds, we found a tire that fits our needs. A Goodyear American Eagle, the all-American kind of radio tire.
The Goodyear American Eagle Radio, on sale. Buy one at regular price, get the second one at half price. The American Eagle with flexed-in cord belts, made from a man-made aramid fiber that's pound for pound stronger than steel. Now, buy one, get the second one at half price.
You guys are experts on CB radios. I'm not. Give me one good reason to buy General Electric.
Glad to, Howard. This model has a modulation meter to show how much voice power is being broadcast.
Thanks,
and
pal.
it has a noise blanker that minimizes. Others have a power mic preamp built in to increase the percentage. And GE's antenna warning indicator tells you if you're transmitting with enough power. They are also designed to minimize interference.
GE, the name to buy in CB.
For better isolation of
I'm
adjacent
glad I
channels,
asked.
which means
You're looking at one of the best-known insurance signs, the fire hat of Fireman's Fund. But for the best deal, you should also know the sign of the man who sells our insurance. It's oval, with an I, for your independent insurance agent. Independent because he represents not just Fireman's Fund, but many companies. So for the right insurance at the right price, sign up with your independent agent. He serves you first. In the yellow pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies.
As we start the second quarter of play, to bring you up to date, Todd, a 29-yard field goal. Rutledge, a 7-yard run to make it 7-3 Alabama. And then Burns on that 7-yard pass from Garcia to cap an 80-yard drive. And it's 10-7 Nebraska. Alabama 2nd down and 6 from the 31. They give it inside. And it's Johnny Davis slashing for about 4 yards up close to the first down near the 37-yard line. And now let's check scores with Bill Fleming.
Okay, and here's one that everybody's been waiting for, Keith. 7-6 in the first game between these two old rivals in 43 years. Iowa State scored first on Tom Buck's 63-yard punt return, and then Dennis Mosley came back with a 77-yard run for Iowa, and it is now 7-6. Incidentally, Tom Sorley was hurt. His right shoulder was bruised in that last drive, and so the starting Nebraska quarterback is in doubt. However, the way Randy Garcia took him in to score, maybe they won't miss it.
Well, Garcia was the starter last week, so maybe he'll have a chance to improve things for him. It is first down for Alabama. The nose of the ball, good enough, and they didn't really have to measure it. And so they mark it at the 37 and send the play over the middle with 38, Davis carrying the ball. Big John. He's gained 24 yards so far today in 5 carries. Put the ball at the 40 and call it 2nd down and 7. And there is Tom Sorley, who started at quarterback for Nebraska, out with a bruised shoulder. 2nd down, 7. Rutledge to Davis. Johnny Davis has never been stopped for a loss in the 3 years he's been playing, 3 years plus, been playing football at Alabama. He went for 2 that time.
He's one of the best wishbone fullbacks of all time. He runs with a reckless abandon, and you have to honor him whether you think he's got the ball or not.
It's 3rd down now and a short 5 yards with Tim Travis in at a wide receiver position. They send Nathan out of the backfield, send him wide as well. So you got Newsom and Nathan wide. And Rutledge fakes, and he unloads it. And the play is good for the first down as number 42 got outside Major Ogilvy, who had gone into the I formation as the tailback. Now, he's the right halfback out of the wishbone, 190-pound freshman. But when they line up in the I, he, that time, went to the tailback position. And the ball is advanced to very near the Nebraska 45-yard line, where it's first down. He gained 12 yards.
It was perfect execution of the triple option. The defensive end, Andrews, charged.
Newsom is wide to the right. Travis wide to the left. First down, Alabama. Ball is handed up the middle to Johnny Davis. Runs hard, doesn't he? He goes inside the 40, down to about the 38-yard line. So he's got 7 yards in his pocket on that carry. And the first quarter statistics.
Look, 119 and 117 at that pace. We'll have over 400 by both teams.
The ball is on the 38. Alabama is working into the wind, blowing right into their face, about 14 miles an hour. It was 76 degrees at game time. And they are playing on artificial surface. Rutledge getting pressure, gets the pass away, intended for Ozzie Newsom, and he, under the pressure, threw it too deep. He had decent coverage that time, too. As Harvey went back with him. Here's Bill again.
A couple of old rivals meet next week, and they're playing today, of course, different opponents. Penn State is now leading Houston 20-14. That game is now in the second quarter. But how about this shocker? West Virginia over Maryland 21-0. They're still in the first half as Kendrick has just passed 54 yards to Thomas for the 3rd West Virginia score.
That's a stunner. 3rd down for Alabama. They need 3. And they go to the money man. And he's got the first down. Johnny Davis getting a solid block from Bob Crowder to spring him across the line of scrimmage. And Alabama has it first down at the Nebraska 23. They'll call it the 24. Him across the line of scrimmage, and Alabama has it first down at the Nebraska 23. They'll call it the 24, where they put it. Very impressive, tough march here by Alabama. 3 6-man front now. Almost a 7 with a cornerback up there for Nebraska. Rutledge wants to put it up. He does. The pass is complete to Bruce Bolton. And he's down to the Nebraska 15-yard line, just a yard and a half short of a first down.
was, once again, the simple out pattern. Defensive back was playing a little bit too loose for this close to the goal line.
Well, it looked like they wanted to force the run that time, and that is the kind of pass, Frank, that 6 points if safety steps in front of it and goes. But so far, Nebraska hasn't had anybody out there.
They are fearful of their deep patterns.
Second down, 1.5 yards for the first down. Rutledge pitches the ball back to Tony Nathan, and there's an outstanding defensive play by Jim Pillen, the monster man, number 29. Loss is back to the 19-yard line. Now it brings up 3rd and long.
That's caused by the quarterback pitching before he got to the defensive end.
Ozzie Newsom comes out, and Bolton comes back in at a receiver position for Alabama. The ball is at the 19. They've got to go inside the 14 for the first down. Now time is called by Jeff Rutledge. So looking at the Nebraska defense, he didn't like what he saw. He wants to talk with the coaching staff. 10:56 to go, first half. Nebraska leads Alabama 10-7.
Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. When it's thin and crispy pizza sounds terrific to you. When you'd like to try a thick and chewy pizza too. When the pizzas are so good you just can't say no. When you love having 2 ways to let yourself go. Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Let yourself go to Pizza Hut.
Chevrolet introduces the new size Malibu with new V6 power. It has power for the highway. The quiet Malibu with power for every day. Smooth power. The smooth power for today. New V6 power coming in the new size Malibu from Chevrolet.
The Women's National AAU Platform Diving Championship today on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Back here at Lincoln, Nebraska, with 10:56 to go in the first half, and Nebraska trying to assemble its defense properly to stop Alabama on 3rd down and 5.5 from the Nebraska 19. Nathan, the deep man, out of the eye. Rutledge back to throw. Looks for Newsom. Throws it. Scramble for it. Newsom comes down with it. He simply took it away from Ted Harvey. Both of them had a hold of it, and Newsom came down with it. We've got a penalty flag thrown. Somebody hit him when he was out of bounds.
This is a simple sideline pattern. Down the goal line, the defensive back Harvey did not back up. He makes a good charge forward, and looks like it's a tie. But Newsom is the strongest, 6'2", 215 pounds, and he comes down with the ball.
Then when he rumbled out of bounds, here comes number 29 Pillen across to hit him out of bounds. That's a personal foul. Newsom shaken for a moment, but appears to be all right as he comes back up the sidelines. The penalty now moves the ball to a 1st and goal situation for Alabama, just inside the Nebraska 2. Newsom has caught 3 passes for 61 yards, key passes in each one of the drives by Alabama. Rutledge is now 6 out of 11 for 90 yards throwing. 1st and goal to go for Alabama just inside the Nebraska 2. Rutledge keeps, pitches out, and Nathan gets it into the corner. That ball was almost fumbled, but a good flip, just enough pressure on the ball to get it to Nathan, and Nathan then just took it right to the corner.
That's from repetition. Bunning had to play 1,000 times. The cornerback surprised him by blitzing to the inside in a collision pass.
And so the Crimson Tide regains the lead at 10:45 to go in the second quarter. Chapman to kick and Kevin Jones to hold. Drills it. So both left-footed kickers are doing well this afternoon in Lincoln, Nebraska. Here is the touchdown. And you watch Rutledge get popped here by that cornerback.
It's a triple option where he reads the key, the tackle closes and tackles Davis. He goes to the next man, and here's the cornerback.
He just barely got rid of it.
Repetition. comes to the front.
Nathan took it in. It was Tim Fisher who had come up and belted him just as he unloaded it. So it's 73 yards and 11 plays for Alabama, using 4 minutes and 41 seconds, and the Crimson Tide is on top for the second time today by a score of 14-10. And they will kick off to Frank Lockett and Curtis Craig. They are moving the football around today, are they?
As a general rule, you can score once on about an 80-yard drive during a ball game. 1 out of 10. This is unusual.
The kick into the wind. Nebraska will have the wind at their back as Craig breaks from the 5 and comes over the top to the 25. 20-yard return by the Nebraska wingback, and Bruce Bolton, along with John Turpin, made the tackle. Tom Sorley, who started the game at quarterback for the Cornhuskers, has bruised his right shoulder, and he's on the bench. Randy Garcia, who started last week against Washington State, is now in at quarterback. Isaiah M. Hipp is now the deep man out of the I formation. I am Hipp. And he's quite deep from the quarterback. The pitch. He reads. He's got room. He's out almost to the 35-yard line. Now this, I believe, in the opinion of most people who've looked at him and the coaching staff as well, is their most dangerous runner.
He has the ability to break open and break into open field, and that's the reason they want him in on this series.
Monty Anthony comes in at the fullback position. Craig is the wingback, Garcia the quarterback, and Burns now is back at the I-back position on second down and about the length of the football for the first down. They want the experienced troops for this one. They give it to Richard Burns. Mike Kramer and Murray Legg saved the touchdown, a 27-yard gain by Richard Burns.
This play, Keith, is a lead play, isolation play. The fullback making the key block and running for daylight, making the right halfback miss him for the big gain.
All the way to the Alabama 39-yard line for a first down. Jeff Lee, junior out of Racine, Wisconsin, number 26 wide to the right. Burns is the I-back. Anthony's in front of him. Garcia the quarterback. Reverse it to Curtis Craig. This time it does not work as Ricky Gilliland, linebacker, read it right, was right there to plug the hole. When you run that counter or misdirection back inside, your linebacker becomes a very important man, and Mr. Gilliland filled the job, didn't he?
He took the fake momentarily, but diagnosed the play from practice day all week long and shot the gap.
And they lost a yard to make it second down 11 from outside the 40. Garcia to throw. Gets his pass over the middle, and it is incomplete. In and out of the hands of Mark Dufresne, the tight end, number 88. So it'll be third down and 11, and here's Bill.
A further update on that Iowa State score, Keith. At 1:15 of the first quarter, the Hawkeyes have come back to take the lead 12-7, recovering an Iowa State fumble on the 19-yard line, and then the Iowa offensive back John Lazar took it in the final 10 yards. So it's quite a battle in Iowa City today.
Yeah, they said they could have sold 150, 200,000 tickets for that. Okay. Third down and 11 for Nebraska, just outside the Alabama 40. There he is. It's loose, it's fumbled, and it's recovered by Alabama. They try to run that inside reverse again, and this time the ball came loose, and the Crimson Tide's Ricky Gilliland was there to cover it. And so Alabama makes a break at the 41, first down. Well, big number 92 is an important fellow there in that drive, wasn't he?
Yes.
Rutledge brings him up. Donnie Faust, 44, in at fullback. Gives it to the second man, number 40, John Crow, son of John David, who was the Heisman Trophy winner for Barrett Bryant down at Texas A&M, and John David is now the football coach at Northeast Louisiana. So John Crow, Kevin Jones, Mike English, and Donnie Faust on the field. This, of course, is something Bear Bryant likes to do. He likes to play a lot of people, and he's been fussing that he doesn't feel he has enough people to really run in 50, 60 a game like he did most of last year, or most of last 2 years. This time it goes to the fullback Faust, first man out of the wishbone, and he takes it from the 45 up near the 50, 49-yard line. That'll leave him 2 yards short of the first down. Ohio State had built the lead to 10-0 over Minnesota at halftime. Woody had a lot of people hurt, too. Oklahoma 7-0 over Utah. Not really hurt, but just banged up. A&M leading Virginia Tech, and Penn State over Houston 20-14 at halftime. There'll be a little scratching in that one before it's done, too. Third down, short 2. And here's the first down as John Crow takes it down to the Nebraska 43-yard line as he split over right side and got a solid block from... That's got a great name. A football player's going to be named something. I can't think of one any better than Jim Bunch.
He played as a freshman, and one of the few players starting the offensive line at Alabama as a freshman.
You see other scores from out of the East and out of the Ivy League. North Carolina State, Georgia and Clemson are 0-0 at halftime. First down for the Tide at the Nebraska 43. Rutledge pitches wide to Crow, and Crow is held up by 16 Fisher. Then he is put away by Tony Samuel. They'll advance him a yard or so to right near the 41-yard line, where it'll be second down and 9. Today on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the Cheyenne Rodeo, some of the greatest fights ever, the Women's National AU platform diving, and a report on the Italian Grand Prix. That's following the football game, except on the West Coast where it goes at 5 Pacific time. Uh-oh. Somebody missed the play. Rutledge turned around, wanted to give it, and there was nobody there. And he just pulled it down and took it inside the 40 to the 38-yard line, where it's going to bring up 3rd and long. 3rd and 6.
Making the tackle. 3rd down.
Keith Pugh, a sophomore out of Evergreen, Alabama, comes on. Looks like he brought a play. Bruce Bolton comes out for Alabama. Crimson Tide in white on the road. Nebraska in red at home. Nope, nothing there that time. Great defensive effort by the left side of Nebraska. Carrying the ball, Mike English, a freshman out of Oxford. Jeff Pullen led the tacklers. And there was a loss on the play. It brings up 4th down. Clock running at 6:15 to go, first half. So the second offensive unit not able to maintain the march. And the punt is away, and Lockett lets it go, and it dribbles into the end zone. And Nebraska will have the ball, first down, at the 20-yard line. 39-yard punt by Buddy Holt. Alabama 14, Nebraska 10.
Hey, if you're going to travel on the interstate highways this year, you want good gasoline mileage. Well, that's where the good guys who wear the star come in. Just about wherever you go, you'll find them ready with top-quality Texaco products to help your car run more efficiently so it can give you better mileage. So travel with the good guys. They're number 1 on the interstate highways, and being in business for themselves makes them work even harder for you.
Good guys always wear the star.
When you're a lifeguard, you practice all you can, because saving a few seconds may save a few lives. Now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best tasting beer you can find. America's quality beer, Miller High Life.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer.
Football excitement like today is found at 472 NCAA member institutions. You're looking at today's key Division II games. Western Kentucky at Akron, Northern Michigan at Western Illinois. Key Division III contests for today, James Madison at Towson State, DePaul at Worcester.
Nebraska owns the football. First down at their own 20-yard line. Keith Jackson along with Frank Broyles and Bill Fleming. Here in Lincoln for this afternoon's game with Alabama leading 14-10, and here is Nebraska now trying to get itself upfield for some field position. The backfield is Monty Anthony, number 49, carried the ball. Barry Krause, the linebacker for Alabama, made the tackle. Randy Garcia is the quarterback. Curtis Craig, the wing. And Isaiah is number 32 at the deep position out of the I formation. Jeff Lee is a wide receiver. And Mark Dufresne is the tight end, with Tom Davis, an All-American candidate, at center. Second down and 9 from the 21. Garcia unloads it in a hurry to Hip. He's loose on the sidelines. Oh, look out. Almost got away. Mike Tucker, number 21, saved the touchdown. And Isaiah can run. He just went 53 there.
It was that lateral pass, Keith, where they can use their blockers downfield.
Hamilton almost messed up the play for Alabama, and Garcia went a fraction of a second disaster to success.
The new rule this year allows you to block downfield, and that's what happened. They were blocking before the pass was thrown legally and set up the play.
First down, Nebraska at the Alabama 26. Oh, that ball is moving, isn't it? It's Hip. And Hip is all the way down to the 13-yard line before Phil Ullman can stop him.
Both teams are missing those big defensive linemen, as we talked about at the front of the show.
I am Hip, 200-pound sophomore from Chapin, South Carolina. He is going to become, if he continues at this pace, the most celebrated walk-on ever at Nebraska.
They're taking him out because he's had a little trouble holding on the ball. They want the more experienced Byrne in there closer to the goal line.
So call it the 13, where it's first down and 10, Nebraska. The Alabama 13. Burns in motion. They give it to the fullback, Stewart, and he's inside the 5, close to the 3. It's Montgomery carrying. Monty Anthony carrying. Behind Jorgensen over the left side of Tom Davis and Kevin Clark. The left side of the offensive line for Nebraska doing a good job at 250, 235, and 238. Lee is back in at a wide position now for Nebraska. They got 2 tight ends in the lineup. On second down and a yard, they go to Burns and Richard Burns. Rick Burns nails at about the 3-yard line as he tried to go over the top. He should have a first down, and he does. First and goal to go for Nebraska.
That experienced offensive line are moving out forward and giving those backs plenty of running room.
The ball is just barely outside the 2-yard line of Alabama with 3 minutes and 35 seconds to go in the first half. And Nebraska now trying to regain the lead. Anthony and Burns are the setbacks. Burns. Touchdown! Try for the extra point out of Randy Garcia's hole. Tom Sorley, the starting quarterback, went down with injury, but Nebraska hasn't missed a beat with Garcia in there, I'll tell you that. And Todd drills it. And the Cornhuskers are back on top by a score of 17-14 with 3:26 to go in the first half.
On the replay, it's a power isolation play.
Over the top, Rick Burns for the lead for Nebraska again.
A herd of deer can seriously stunt the growth of young trees. When the trees are small, every bite cuts down on the raw material for the next century. A bite of lumber, a gulp of plywood, tomorrow's paper supply. Dr. Illo Gauditz, Weyerhaeuser scientist, working with Dr. Katashi Oita, developed a way to discourage the deer. It took 8 years of experimenting. And finally, the answer came. An egg derivative. Dr. Gauditz found that deer hate eggs, poached, scrambled, or soft-boiled. Now she works with Weyerhaeuser foresters like Ed Baker. Together, they decide when a young forest might be in danger, and they take steps to protect the young seedlings. Then the deer move to older trees where their pruning doesn't really harm the trees. Result? A way to save wood resources without harming the Bambis of the world. Weyerhaeuser, the tree-growing company.
Special report on Mario Andretti's sensational win in the Italian Grand Prix today on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Look at the total yardage so far in the first half. Both teams right at 200, just short of it. And we've got 3:26 to go in the second quarter. Nebraska 17, Alabama 14. Billy Todd will kick off to Major Ogilvy and Tony Nathan. Wind at his back, gets it high. Deep in the end zone there, Ogilvy's going to bring it out. They did a pretty good job, too. They could have gotten to him a lot sooner back in around that goal line area, but the youngster from Birmingham did a good job. Jeff Hansen brings him down as he comes to right at the 18-yard line. Scoring story for Nebraska, 80 yards, 7 plays. Mr. I Am Hip, the big story in the march.
He looked like he was walking in a potato patch.
You better explain yourself. Folks up north won't know what you're talking about.
He was tiptoeing around.
Don't want to mash him. First down, just short of the 18 for Alabama. Rutledge back in for the first unit. Throws it short. Ogilvy drops it. They're trying to set up what amounted to a screen up the middle that time to split the secondary, and the linebackers had pulled. If he'd have caught it, he might have run something.
He had some blockers in front of him that were making the blocks downfield since the pass was going to be behind the line. Both teams are pulling out all stops. Can you sit on a lead?
No, not with these two, I'll tell you. Not with this crowd. 17-14 Nebraska, 3:15 to go first half. Todd comes up second down 10, just short of their own 18. Washington State, Michigan State. Spartans lead 7-3. Washington State, the team that upset Nebraska last week. Rutledge gives to Johnny Davis. And Davis gets outside. He may have a first down. Ted Harvey, 31, and Jim Whiteman, 59, the people who brought him down. But he did get the first down at the 28-yard line.
This is a different Nebraska defense. As we said, they don't have that big bell cow to make the big play and force a punt.
Johnny Davis now 9 carries and 58 yards in the game, and 3 minutes to go first half. Goes to the second man, Nathan. And he's lugged down right about the line of scrimmage. Number 54 penetrating for Nebraska, Barney Cotton and Kerry Weinmeister. They brought him down. Weinmeister. Coming back on the field for Alabama now, number 42, Ogilvy, and Bruce Bolton will come out. Well, let's see what they do here. They might send Nathan out as a wide man again. Nope, this time they send Ogilvy out as the wide man, along with Keith Pugh. On second down and 9, Rutledge gets his pass off. Did he catch it?
Yes.
Threw it to Newsom, and he took it right off the ground. He may have caught it one-handed.
In effect, he was throwing to Neal off the foot number 4.
So Ozzie Newsom catches a Rutledge knuckleball low and outside, and that'll be a first down. Look at it.
I believe he was actually throwing to the other receiver, number 4, but Newsom came across and was there.
First down, Alabama, outside the 45. Right it off to Davis, the big fullback, for 3 yards to the 48. And you've got 1:50 to play in the first half with Nebraska on top 17-14.
Alabama in that I formation, spreading the defense for the big play.
Actually, the Red Elephants from Tuscaloosa ought to feel all right. Everything in Nebraska is red anyhow. Same colors practically for the schools. It's a red stadium today. Second down 8. Rutledge, down he goes. Great play by number 98, Tony Samuel. crosses back inside the 40 to the 39, and time is called.
Misdirection passes are hard to protect on the backside. That's the reason you don't throw them every down. You can't cover them, but you also can't block for them either.
The timeout is charged to Alabama as Rutledge comes to the sidelines to talk, and you've got 1:12 to go. And next Saturday, here's the lineup. The Oklahoma Sooners and the Ohio State Buckeyes at Ohio Stadium in Columbus, Ohio. Oh, that's going to be a game. And how about that second game? Maryland and Penn State. The Eastern dominance may be up for grabs in that one. Massachusetts and Harvard. Florida and Mississippi State, a very big ball game in the Southeastern Conference. The Bulldogs from Starkville, tough this year. They won their first 2 outings. Florida just getting cranked up today. Brigham Young and Utah State. And those of you in New York will be seeing highlights through the day of that Maryland-Penn State game. So that's, I'll tell you, there's some big ball games in that schedule next Saturday.
The best intersectional games we've ever had for September and October. They're really bowl games.
That's right. That's right. Timeouts now. Alabama 1, Nebraska with 3. And the ball just short of the 40. With the Huskers leading by 3, 17 to 14. Alabama is now beyond the 200 mark in total offense. Nebraska gets the ball back. They'll probably pass 200 themselves by halftime. Rutledge to throw. He throws it short to Bolton. And Bolton out there one-on-one is finally thrown out of bounds. And I don't think he got the first down. They got him just short of the Nebraska 45. He had to go just over the 45. Ted Harvey was out there defending. But they're sort of picking on Mr. Harvey, aren't they?
Yes, they are. That was actually his third choice, and Rutledge has been back in that pocket, and he has assurance and confidence, and he looked at Newsom to go deep, and Newsom was covered, so the short man was open.
They need a yard on 4th down. They'll go. With 1:03 to play in the first half, they're going. Figures Davis. Nope, Nathan. He's got it. Down to the 41-yard line of Nebraska. First down, Alabama. I tell you, when Big Johnny Davis doesn't take the ball off that first break out of the wishbone, and he pops in there so hard, there's got to be a little room for somebody.
He draws a crowd. That's who they're keying on. When you play against Johnny Davis, the linebackers are keying on him. And when he starts to the right, they've got to move in that direction, and the counter play popped open for the first down. I believe that's all of Alabama's timeouts, Keith, and they're going into the wind, so they aren't likely to have a chance for a field goal from this distance unless they move the ball for at least one more first down.
You have 58 seconds remaining in the first half. Yale leading Brown 7-0. That's a ball game that Jim Lampley is doing today. Harvard and Columbia, 7-6 Columbia. We'll make Drew Norwich happy, won't it? 17-0 Navy over Connecticut. Army 14-0 over VMI. Rutgers bouncing back against Bucknell, having lost their opener to Penn State 2 weeks ago. All right, first down, Alabama. Call it the Nebraska 42. Rutledge to throw, does. The pass is complete to Newsom, and Newsom is inside the 30 at the 29.
The official still hadn't stopped the clock, even though it's a first down. There he does.
Again, the timing rules changed today is that on penalties, the clock does not start until the ball is snapped. Newsom was playing in a tight end position coming out of that formation. He's caught 5 now for 99 yards. 40 seconds to go, first half. Rutledge back to throw, looks for Bolton, throws it, it's incomplete. Jim Pillen was there, and as the ball passed by, Pillen hit him hard, and he's shaken up.
This is an inside pass because they're playing 2 deep safety man, and both passes that they've thrown on this drive have been inside, just a look-in pattern, but Pullen comes up in collisions as the ball gets there.
Pillen has to leave the game, and Kent Smith comes in, and of course he's from Thief River Falls, Minnesota, which is a great little town. I like to go there someday. He's senior and has played a lot here. You don't lose much experience. They pitch it forward. to Newsom coming from the tight end position. So again, they're going to the bottom of the playbook as that play goes down to about the 20 and close to a first down. It is a first down, I think, for Alabama, isn't it? Not quite, apparently, as they go to a quick snap, and Rutledge throws it out of bounds. They were just inches short of the first down, and Alabama, huddling in a hurry, threw the ball out of bounds to stop the clock with 14 seconds remaining. They want to get the kicking team in.
Under the new rule, the shovel pass inside to the end is a good play because you can block the linebackers before the ball's thrown.
Roger Chapman out of Kevin Jones' hold from the 27. Not much noise down there. It must be good. It is. So the Nebraska folks who react so big to their team, relatively silent that time as Chapman hits one from 37 yards, and we'll go to halftime even at 17 unless Nebraska does something with 10 seconds to play.
Have they got any more trick plays left?
Don't know.
If they do, that's all they're practicing.
That's right.
They have made very little out of their wishbone. Oh, it's a great ball.
Aren't you glad you don't have to prepare a team to play either one of them?
Like I said, you can't rest on a lead in this game. Rutledge has really shown that he has been there many times before. He was a great passer in high school, and he's dropped back and seen receivers covered, knows how to scramble and pick the open man, and twice he did that in this drive.
Lockett and Craig are the deep men. Chapman will kick it into the wind. Low liner, Craig, 9. Blocking, forming. Can't get it outside to the sidelines.
It looked like they were setting up the pass across the field, which hadn't been run. That's about the one thing that had used today.
Well, it ain't over. We got 6 seconds to play. Ball is at the 24 for Nebraska. First down. And the score is tied at 17-17. Smith wide to the left. That's a relatively conservative offensive set. But you never know. Well, they just pop it up the middle and that'll run out the clock. And so time runs out in the first half of a sensational football game in Lincoln, Nebraska, with a score, Alabama 17 and Nebraska 17. All right, let's go down on the field to Bill Fleming.
All right, Keith, thanks very much. Coming over here is Coach Tom Osborne. I might mention to you that they've taken Keith Stewart into the dressing room, the starting fullback of Nebraska. We'll ask Tom what happened. Tom, if you didn't have the pressure of being a head football coach, I think you could sit back and enjoy a great first half of college ball.
Well, I think both teams have played very well. Neither one of us has stopped anybody very well. We've moved the ball. It's been exciting football, and I think both teams are hoping to play a little better defense second half.
All that razzle-dazzle doesn't disappoint anybody.
Well, we feel we have to do that kind of thing to beat Alabama, and they've got a great football team. We just hope we can hang in there and win it in the second half.
2 quick questions. How's Sorley and how is Stewart?
Well, Tom Sorley's got a sore shoulder. I don't know if he'll play anymore. He probably could if he had to. Keith Stewart, I believe, has a slight hip pointer. But we have Monty Anthony in there, and he's doing a good job.
I know you want to get to your team. Best of luck.
Thank you.
It's a great first half, 17-17, and of course there'll be more coming up. I do want to mention one thing to you. The World Lightweight Championship fight, which we had said earlier was not going to be on today, Duran and Jarrett, is going to be on Wide World of Sports. So be sure to stay tuned. And we'll be back with a Fireman's Fun flashback and more halftime activities here at what you might call Red Splash Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska, following this commercial message.
What's new today?
The new 4-door Chevy Chevette hatchback has more than just 4 doors. It has room for 4 adult people. I'm 6 feet tall, and I'm comfortable in front or in back. In fact, this 78 Chevette offers more backseat legroom than the 4-door Toyota Corolla and 4-door Datsun B210 sedans, even the 4-door Honda Civic wagon. The new 4-door Chevy Chevette. Try one on for size at your Chevy dealers.
Saturday Fish is still missing.
Fish?
Will Fish show up for his own premiere? Then on the premiere of Operation Petticoat, the battle of the sexes heats up on the pink sub that made the Navy blush. And
And Starsky and Hutch take a swingers haven by storm in a special 2-hour premiere.
Welcome to Playboy Island. I'm your doorman.
It's a vacation in paradise. Right after Fish and Operation Petticoat.
Watch tonight starting at 8, 7 Central and Mountain on ABC.
Here's your chance to get 7% interest on your savings plus major brand name gifts. Introducing the Husker Bond exclusively from the Cornhusker Bank of Omaha. Now you can purchase a Husker Bond from $1,000 to $10,000, which matures in 7 years, yielding a 7% interest compounded annually. It's interest in advance exclusively from the Cornhusker Bank of Omaha, offering Husker Bonds at 2 locations, Main Bank, 90th and Bedford, and Auxiliary Facility, 77th and Cass. Member FDIC.
If you want the new washer you buy to do family-size loads and live with your family a long time, this time, make it Hot Point.
See the full line of Hot Point quality appliances at the Nebraska Furniture Mart stores, where you get the lowest price. The Nebraska Furniture Mart is known throughout the Middle West for their tremendous selection of famous name home furnishings and their low price. Whether you want one piece of furniture or a house full, get the real values at Nebraska Furniture Mart stores, Omaha.
Channel 7's the one.
Halftime in Lincoln, Nebraska, 17-17 in the first ever regular season meeting between Alabama and Nebraska. I'm Bill Fleming here at halftime, and we'll be bringing you some segments of the Nebraska Marching Band as well as some of the other activities. You know, last weekend was the first big weekend of college football, and there were 4 rather outstanding individual performances, and we're going to be bringing you those on today's Fireman's Fun Flashback. Fireman's Fun Flashback is brought to you today by Fireman's Fund Insurance. And Fireman's Fund Insurance is brought to you by an independent agent near you. So it's Fireman's Fun Flashback today that goes back 1 week in college football. First of all, there was an outstanding performances by a quarterback by the name of Lehman Hall of the Cadets of Army. 6'5", native of Apopka, Florida. He attempted 33 passes, completed 19 for 310 yards and 5 touchdowns as Army rolled over Massachusetts 34-10. Lehman Hall has shattered 18 Army passing and total offense records, so look out, Navy. Number 33, fullback George Woodard of the Texas Aggies also had an impressive opening game. This 260-pound giant from Harvey, Louisiana, carried the ball 20 times for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. A&M won the game 28-14, and no wonder the Aggies are one of the favorites to win the Southwest Conference Championship. Don't forget, they play Michigan in 2 weeks. All-America quarterback Gifford Nielsen of Brigham Young opened his senior season against Kansas State last week. He threw the ball 45 times, connected on 27 of those for a whopping 318 yards and 2 touchdowns as he led his team to a very impressive 39-0 victory. And finally, number 43, Terry Miller, senior fullback of Oklahoma State. He led the Red Raiders to victory, began right where he left off a year ago when he ran for nearly 2,000 yards and 23 touchdowns. Against Tulsa, he had 25 carries, 189 yards, and 2 TDs as he led his team to a 34-17 win. So there were 4 big performances, some of the nation's top collegians, 1 week ago.
You know, for years we burned in this symbol, the fire hat of Fireman's Fund. But here's an even more important symbol to burn in. It belongs to the people who sell our insurance, the independent agents. Each represents several companies, so they work for you to get the best policy and price. Naturally, we hope your agent picks Fireman's Fund. But make sure you pick an agent with this sign, and you won't get burned. In the yellow pages, Fireman's Fund Insurance Companies.
The National Youth Sports Program dedicated to expanding opportunities for the nation's economically disadvantaged youth. In the summer of 1977, nearly 50,000 young people participated in the NYSP, now in its 9th year. NYSP provides instruction in football, basketball, swimming, track and field, and many lifetime sports. NYSP also means health education, counseling and study and career and educational opportunities, a physical examination, nutritious meals, and summer employment for hundreds of college students and inner-city youth. NYSP is people concerned with helping young people. 139 universities and colleges in 43 states conducted NYSP programs this year. Other principal partners in this effort are the Community Services Administration and the NCAA. The National Youth Sports Program, building a positive attitude for today's youth, preparing better citizens for tomorrow.
Today on ABC's Wide World of Sports, the World Lightweight Boxing Championship, Roberto Duran versus Edwin Viruet, live from Philadelphia's Spectrum, and the Women's National AAU Platform Diving Championships. That's at 5 Eastern and Pacific, 4 Central Time on ABC.
More halftime activities here at Memorial Stadium in Lincoln, Nebraska. In case you joined us a little bit late today, I'm sorry for you because you've missed some spectacular college football. The halftime score here is 17-17. Now, at halftime, we have the Marching Red, the Big Red Band of the University of Nebraska on the field. Dr. Robert Fote is the director of the band. And so let's join the band today as the theme of their particular halftime show is some of the music from our favorite television shows, and you can kind of pick out these songs as they play them. Some of the themes will be Policewoman, Police Story, Beretta, The Streets of San Francisco, Charlie's Angels, SWAT, Rockford Files, Sunday Night Movie. That, of course, was the theme from SWAT. Now let's take a look at some scores. How about this one? In the second quarter, Ole Miss is leading Notre Dame 3-0 in that big game in Jackson. Always a good battle. The Buckeyes and the Golden Gophers, and Ohio State working up to next week's game against Oklahoma, leading Minnesota 10-0 in a Big Ten clash today. Now, in the third quarter, this has been quite a ball game today. Penn State is now leading 23-14 over Houston. Don't forget, many of you viewers will see Maryland and Penn State next week. Other parts of the country will have Oklahoma and Ohio State. Oh, how about this one? Halftime at Iowa City. The Iowa Hawkeyes with a 2-point lead over the Cyclones of Iowa State, 12-10. This one I cannot believe. West Virginia 24-0 at halftime over Maryland. After Maryland came back and scored in the final period to defeat Clemson last week, now the Terrapins are really in a struggle against those fired-up Mountaineers today. And this game here today in Lincoln takes a backseat to no one. 17-17, the Huskers and the Crimson Tide. The Big Red Band on the field right now. men going through their intricate geometric patterns as the climax of their halftime show. Cornhusker Marching Band under the direction of Dr. Robert Boat. Well-deserved big round of applause for one of the outstanding college bands of the nation. This Alabama-Nebraska game is being brought to you by Chevrolet Chevette four-door hatchback, coming September the 23rd at your Chevy dealers. By Pizza Hut. When it's pizza you want and nothing else will do, let yourself go to Pizza Hut and take your pick of our thick and chewy pizza or our thin and crispy pizza. And by General Electric Citizen Band radios. General Electric, the name to buy in CB. Well, the Alabama band is not here today, but let's look at some scenes at Tuscaloosa.
At the University of Alabama, our specialty is serving people, and we've been doing it for nearly 150 years. To our 17,000 students and 100,000 alumni, we're the state's hallmark of educational excellence, the place where leaders in government, business, medicine, science, law, technology, and the humanities are trained. To people in Alabama's small towns and rural areas, we're the institution that's solving a critical shortage of health care personnel through our family practice medicine and nursing programs. To a state with a booming economy, we're the university that's taken the lead in exploration of our mineral resources and protection of our environment. To thousands of Alabamians, we play an historic role in continuing education, providing training that enhances careers and enriches lives. Under the direction of President David Matthews, we're looking for more and better ways to serve people, to solve their problems and improve their opportunities. We're a vital part of the future of Alabama and the South, the University of Alabama.
Today on ABC's Wide World of Sports, Roberto Duran defends his world lightweight title against second-ranked Edwin Viruet. Plus the Women's National AAU Platform Diving Championship and a special report on Mario Andretti's victory in the Italian Grand Prix.
I don't know what else can happen to you, Frank Bross.
I really don't. They've destroyed believing college football.
Let's have a look at some of the highlights in that first half now, and it literally goes to the last page in the playbook. Now watch this. The ball is pitched back to Burns. Burns then hands it off to the wide receiver Smith. Smith pitches it back to Tom Sorley, and then Sorley, who had to leave the game with a bruised shoulder, unloads it downfield, and the pass is caught by Spaeth. And suddenly here's Nebraska in a position to go and get themselves a touchdown and get the lead in the ball game. Now watch this fake field goal as Randy Garcia is now in at quarterback. He's holding. The ball comes back. It is placed on the tee. The kicker carries through very well. Then Garcia rolls out looking. Now see number 35 peeling off to come downfield, and Garcia threw a heck of a pass there. He just popped it right in, and Burns took it.
Pass on target.
100% cotton denim. Naturally tough, naturally comfortable. Sears calls them fitting jeans, and they're made with Sanford-Set, so they resist wrinkles and shrinking. They stay looking neat. See, I know Mary Ellen walks by here every day.
Hey, Bobby, come on.
When you're looking at blue jeans, check the label. Make sure you're looking at 100% cotton denim.
How do you spell relief?
When I get acid indigestion, I spell relief, R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
For heartburn? R-O-L-A-I-D-S. Rolaids spells relief. In this test with Rolaids active ingredient, laboratory acid changes color to prove Rolaids consumes 47 times its weight in excess stomach acid. How do you spell relief?
For gas, I spell it R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Rolaids spells relief.
I know my car needs good service, but how do I know I'm not going to get ripped off?
You know you won't get taken with Goodyear hassle-free service. If you're not happy, we're not happy. With all service work, we give you the Goodyear promise. We do professional work. We only do the work you authorize. We return all worn parts. No problems, no fooling, no hassle.
Man, I'm glad it wasn't my transmission.
Goodyear tires and Goodyear service for more good years in your car.
I think we have time for a very quick word with Paul Bear Bryant, the coach at Alabama. Coach, have you ever seen a more entertaining first half?
Well, I don't know, Bill. I just seen it been dull. It must be a his 17.
Anything different that you're going to do?
No, I think we know where the defensively. I hope we get together and start tackling better. They whipped us. Our defense hasn't stood up at all offensively. I think we know where they're going to be now, and I think we ought to be able to move the ball. But we've got to do something defensively. We got to go after them more aggressively. We got to attack them more. We got to tackle better.
Best of luck. That's the word from Bear Bryant. Let's go back upstairs.
All right, Major Ogilvie, number 42, and Tony Nathan, number 22, will be the deep men for the white-shirted Alabama Crimson Tide as Billy Todd gets ready to kick off before a crowd of 75,899, the 89th consecutive sellout here at the University of Nebraska. 17-17 ball game. Keith Jackson along with Frank Broyles and Bill Fleming. And if you haven't enjoyed this one, well, I don't know what to tell you.
They've pulled out all the stops.
With the wind at the back, Todd hits it high in the air. It goes deep, deep into the end zone. Ogilvie steps off the playing field. It'll be first down, Alabama. At the 20-yard line, they'll open with Rutledge at quarterback. Nathan, Ogilvie, Davis, Ozzie Newsome will be the split end. The offensive line, Dave Sadler, Lou Green, Stevenson at center, Kreider, Bunch, and Rick Neal will be the tight end. So here comes Alabama now, up to the line of scrimmage. Neal comes to the right side. That sends Newsome wide to the left side, up at the top of your picture. And Rutledge pitches the ball back to Tony Nathan, who runs past one red shirt, gets shirt-tailed by Velasic as he crosses the 30 and gets to the 32. Now, the defensive front for the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers. We have a look at them. Larry Young, defensive end. Rod Horn plays at the tackle position. Jeff Pullen is the middle guard. Randy Peschel is the defensive tackle, and the other defensive end is George Andrews. The linebackers are Jeff Carpenter, 37, Lee Kuntz, 38. We'll show you the secondary in a moment. It's first down as Alabama goes for 12 on the first play of the second half. Rutledge gives this time to number 40, John Crow, coming from the tailback position. And John doesn't get much out to about the line of scrimmage, and that'll do it. Secondary for Nebraska, Jim Pillen is the rover back. Ted Harvey is the man that Alabama's been picking on at cornerback. Darrell Walton also at cornerback, and Larry Velasic, the safety who just made that last tackle. It'll be second down, and there was a yard loss on the play. Second and about 11 yards to go for Alabama. Dwight Stevenson will snap to Jeff Rutledge. Rutledge going down the line on the triple option. Gets sandwiched as he gets to the 35 and decked at the 36. And I would imagine every time he goes down hard, Bear Bryant swallows hard because there's not that much experience behind him. ABC's Wide World of Sports will feature the World Lightweight Boxing Championship. The champion Roberto Duran going against Edwin Viruet. That comes up later today after the football game and the credential scoreboard, along with the Women's AAU Platform Diving Championship. Third down and long now. Third and a long 7 for Alabama, just outside the 35. Figures to throw. Rutledge going to put it up. He throws it, and it's incomplete. Rick Neal, the tight end, was apparently the man he was trying to throw it to, but Rick Neal had gone downfield. He had taken a bump from Darrell Walton playing at the cornerback position and sort of got engaged with him. In the meantime, Rutledge had to throw the ball away. All right, now, Alabama will kick. Lockett is back. Buddy Holt's punt goes to Frank Lockett. White shirts all over the place. He spins away from 2 of them and comes back to about the 30. That was a 39-yard punt into the wind. So, Alabama not able to march it in their first defensive possession. Let's see what Nebraska can do now. Randy Garcia, Rick Burns, Keith Stewart, Curtis Craig, Tim Smith. The split in. Up front for Nebraska, it'll be Clark, Jorgensen, Davis, Lindquist, Waldemore, and Spaeth. With Smith coming wide to the left, Anthony is the fullback. Stewart injured in the first half. He has not come back. Right on the 31st down. Garcia fakes it, pumps it, and goes down. Number 64, John Knox, came plummeting in there and got him. The defense now for the Alabama Crimson Tide, Wayne Hamilton at end, Marty Lyons, a defensive tackle, Terry Jones, the middle guard. Over on the other side, David Hanna, same family, and Danny Collins at defensive end, Rich Wingo at linebacker, and Ricky Gilliland at linebacker with number 77, Barry Krause, playing some. Second down and 12 from the 23 for Nebraska. Garcia pitches to Burns. Rick Burns running to the left side, rolls over the top of one of his own people, Greg Jorgensen, a guard who had pulled, and he gets some yardage out of it, not all that much. Don McNeil is in the secondary. Mike Tucker for Alabama saved a touchdown on Hip's long run. Murray Legg, number 19, goes up and back, and Mike Kramer, the safety. You see that number 19 move up on the line, then drop off into that short zone, and done it a couple of times and confused the Nebraska offense.
He's trying to confuse their quarterback, who is changing the play at the line of scrimmage to try to take advantage of where he's playing. He's disguising it.
It is now from the 27-yard line. As Garcia steps to throw, has time, throws it, and the pass is just deflected away by Barry Krause, the linebacker, who had come all the way into deep zone coverage.
That was an All-American play by Mr. Krause, who was one of the outstanding sophomores in the Southeastern Conference last year. He had the pass, saw a crease, and was trying to drill the ball in to spade the tight end, and he left his feet and deflected it. Michigan now getting a contest from Duke. The Blue Devils were rising up in the second half, 14-9 now the score. Nebraska's punter, Tim Smith, standing at the 14. He'll hit it at about the 16-17. He didn't get all of it. Hits a knuckleball up there, and Ozzie Newsome calls a fair catch for Alabama at the 38-yard line. So the Tide will try it again with 12:09 to go, third quarter, and the score is still tied at 17.
Got a story to tell you, it's short and sweet. About 3 Chevy Monzas loose on the street. Coupes are moving all dazzling class. Plenty of action, plenty of sass. It's a Monza. 2 + 2 running swift and low. Getting kind of famous for his get up and go. It's a Monza. Here comes Spider out of the night. Calm down, honey, it ain't gonna bite. It's a Monza by Chevrolet. It's a Monza by Chevrolet. It's a
Give me a cool, misty morning, the rugged Swedish coast, and nothing to do but enjoy them. Then give me Borkum Riff bourbon-flavored tobacco. In Sweden, we know that flavoring our fine tobaccos softens and enriches them. And that's just what we do with Borkum Riff. Bourbon-flavored Borkum Riff is my favorite smoke, and one of life's simple pleasures.
17-17 ball game as Alabama will put it in play, first down from the 38-yard line. The crowd of 75,899 almost quiet here going into the third quarter. I think they yelled themselves hoarse. They got to wait and get their wind a little bit. Neal goes in motion. Newsome comes into the tight end position. And Rutledge keeps it. And he is cut down at the 44-yard line. Coming out of the secondary is Jeff Pillen, the monster man, to make the tackle.
Keith, that was the outside option, which is a great play against the Nebraska defense playing as tight. In closed, and the Reed Key gave him the option inside. He was looking for the pitch downfield.
It is that kind of a play, too, in which Jack O'Rear was so effective and has been in his career at Alabama. Second down and 4 yards to go, just short of the 45-yard line. Rutledge looks to throw, looks at Neal, getting a little heat now, throws it short. It's intercepted. It is intercepted by linebacker Lee Kuntz of Nebraska. Jeff Pullen was leading the charge on Rutledge. Jeff looked downfield, couldn't find his deep man, tried to dump it. And when he dumped it into that short zone, the linebacker got it.
The pass was to the tight end, and he was covered, and the rush was on him, and he should not have thrown the ball in for... Here's Kuntz, number 38. He's backing up in the regular position. He sees the ball thrown. It's in front of him, and all he has to do is break up and catch it.
And Alabama now got to put the defense on as Nebraska has the ball at the Tide. 39, first down, and Garcia gives to Rick Burns. He's outside. He's got blocking. He's got a first down inside the 20-yard line. Mike Kramer finally dragged him down.
Keep that offensive line of moving the Alabama defense back and giving him plenty of room to break for daylight, and he is good.
12 carries, 89 yards for Rick Burns. First down, Nebraska at the Alabama 17 with 11:15 to go, third quarter. Both teams well over 200 yards in the first half in total offense. Curtis Craig, the wingback. Touchdown. Curtis Craig, the wingback, reversing, got a sensational block from Greg Jorgensen, number 63. He cut down Don McNeil, and Craig, with a hurdle, took it in.
He's not a Johnny Rodgers, but he looked great on that play.
Billy Todd will try the extra point, and Nebraska, 10:54 to go, third quarter, is back on top. It's good. So the Nebraska Cornhuskers exercise opportunity as they take it in for the touchdown from 39 yards.
Hey, Schlitz wants you to have a ball. Pass the word, pass the word.
Hey, now's the time to pick up plenty of Schlitz.
Pass the word, pass the word, pass the word.
Because the Schlitz football offer is here. Look for this display at participating stores and save up to $5 on an official Wilson football. Come on.
Pick up Schlitz and have a ball. Pass the word, pass the word, pass the Schlitz.
Come on, old trademark. Time for your walk. What's the hurry? I know where we're going. To where your family began. With the same Levi's blue jeans worn by this man. Hey, you've come quite a ways, little registered Mark. Now that I see these guys by the park dressed in your newest edition, sums it up right there. Levi's sportswear. Trademark, I know what you'd say if you could. Levi's don't have to be blue, just have to be good.
Another look at the 17-yard run by Curtis Craig.
They faked Byrne up the middle, and he drew a crowd, and the Alabama defense pinched, and Craig broke all the way outside, who's known better for his blocking, but watch this individual effort to get in the end zone.
And it's 24-17 Nebraska. Crowd roaring and standing as Billy Todd gets ready to kick to Tony Nathan and Major Ogilvy. The story on the drive, 2 plays, 30 seconds, 39 yards, 7 points. Wynn gets the ball, carries it deep. No return on that one. It'll be first down Alabama at the 20. Notre Dame has moved to a 7-3 lead over Ole Miss in the second quarter. Yale and Brown 10-0 Bulldogs. Dartmouth leading Princeton. Columbia still holding a 1-point edge on Joe Restick's Harvard team, and Pitt leading William and Mary 21-0 with Navy over Connecticut 17-0. And here comes Alabama up to the line of scrimmage. Send Nathan out to the other side. That puts Ogilvy at tailback. Newsom moves into a tight end. And the pitch to Ogilvy, the freshman from Birmingham. He takes a solid hit as he gets to about the 22-23-yard line, and it came from Jeff Carpenter, the linebacker. Clemson now has taken a 7-0 lead over Georgia, and that probably is considered an upset by some, but not necessarily so, because Georgia didn't figure to start all that quick this year. Iowa State and Iowa. Give Vince Dooley some time, though, and he'll work it out. Washington State now has gone to a 9-7 lead over Michigan State in the third quarter. 10:20 to go in the third quarter of this game. Tony Nathan is decked as he gets to about the 25-yard line. It brings up third down and almost 6 yards for Alabama's first down. And Illinois leading Missouri 8-0. Missouri, of course, lost their quarterback Pete Woods last week in the loss to USC, and LSU breaking out to a 7-0 lead over Indiana. That's the opener for Charlie McClendon's Bayou Bengals.
He thinks he's going to have a much better team.
Ball is just short of the 25, where it is third down and a short 6 for Alabama. Too much time, I do believe. So Tom Osborne's defense jumping around, and Jeff Rutledge searching through his playbook, trying to come up with the right call on 3rd and long. Takes too much time, and now it is 3rd down and about 10.5 from inside the 20.
He had Newsom split into the boundary and looked like he wanted to throw the out to him, but at the last minute they rotated up in the double coverage, and he was trying to audibilize, and it took too long.
Clock is stopped at 9:36 to go, 3rd period. Nebraska leading 24-17. Rutledge will throw on 3rd and long. He throws short. It's intercepted by number 96, George Andrews. So bang, bang, interceptions by Nebraska, and the Cornhuskers are rolling. There's a penalty flag thrown on the field, too. So let's wait for that. I know that Rutledge went down awfully hard after he threw the ball. And they are talking now to Alabama. Murray leg. The penalty apparently is going to be against Nebraska. But it came after the play had ended, and that means Nebraska will keep the ball.
1st and 25 they'll have, Keith. It was evidently some young man got emotionally upset, and he let out his emotions on an Alabama player. That was the shovel pass again, and that they had worked successfully. And we talked about in the first half, all their trick plays worked in the first half, and Alabama's has backfired here.
So it's 1st and 25 as the ball is moved back to the 27-yard line from the 12. Lee goes wide right for Nebraska. Burns the I-back, Anthony the fullback.
On the blitz.
Garcia to throw. Puts it in the corner. He's got a man. It's intercepted. A great reaching interception by Don McNeil. The pass was intended for Jeff Lee. If the pass had been a little higher, might have worked for 6. And so Alabama comes up with the interception by McNeil, gets the ball back. 1st down at the 20 and 9:25 to go. 3rd quarter, Nebraska leading at 24-17.
Man, this is a great New York Life team. We play to win for our policy owners. Today we've got another opportunity. George here's got a wife, 2 kids, and a mother. He needs life insurance protection badly, and we've got to get it for him. We're going to block out money problems, protect him against financial disaster. Okay, let's go! Take the worry off his shoulders. Protect his family. You've made it, George. Financial security.
Where the name of the game is life, there's New York Life.
Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. When your usual lunch is nothing but a bore. When let's have a pizza sounds too good to ignore. When you're tasting that cheese and you're hearing that crunch. When you want to let loose, you'll love us for lunch. Let yourself go to Pizza Hut. Let yourself go to Pizza Hut.
Roberto Duran defends his world lightweight title today on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
What might have been for Nebraska, what was a great play for Alabama.
It was a sply pattern with a great hurdler, Lee going down the boundary, and McNeil makes what we think in coach is one of the most difficult plays in football, is to find that ball back over his shoulder and leap and focus his eyes and catch it, and that is a sensational play.
And Alabama has the ball back. 1st down at the 20, trailing by 7. Neal wide left. Newsom wide right. Pitch it to Mike English. Penalty flag down. English is rolled down as he crosses the 25 to the 27. The umpire threw the flag, holding Alabama. Well, the Crimson Tide offense a little bit snake bit here in the second half. There's been 2 interceptions, one of which Nebraska cashed in for a touchdown. Now the holding penalty. Now let's spend a moment with Mr. Bill Fleming.
All right, the Blue Devils of Duke are playing the Wolverines of Michigan. Quite a ball game today. In the fourth quarter, it's 21-9. But the Blue Devils came out in that third quarter, drove 77 yards on the nation's #1 team and scored. Then they added a field goal. Now the Wolverines, with 5:52 to go, have come back, driven 80 yards themselves, and Leach went over for the score.
And it's 21-9. And that one right here, it's back on the 10-yard line. It's first down and 20 for Alabama. Rutledge keeping. Now pitches. Nathan. And he's out to a first down at the 35-yard line. Tony Nathan.
Keith, that was a great defensive play by Ballison. He played off the block and forced Nathan to break back inside, or he would have scored.
Nathan now has gone past 50 yards in rushing, 9 carries for 51. His running mate, Johnny Davis, went over the 50 mark and then some in the first half. Davis had 61. First down Tide just short of the 35. They sent it up the middle. And big Johnny Davis has about 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7 now for Alabama. Coming up off the bottom of the stack is number 54, Barney Cotton, junior out of Omaha. There's Curtis Craig, who scored the touchdown that put Nebraska in front, 24-17, 8:28 to go. He's the wingback. He's earned a little respite. Stedman Shealy now comes in at quarterback for Alabama. The ball is not handed off as Shealy is wrapped by George Andrews just as he started to turn. Stedman Shealy, a sophomore out of Dothan, Alabama. They're trying to give Jeff Rutledge a little bit of a breather.
That's a real surprise because they'd planned the red shirts. Shealy, evidently Rutledge, he's all right. He's on the sideline. That is a surprise.
Ball is at the 34 now, and it's third down and about 11. Shealy keeps, and he is tripped up by number 29, Jim Pillen, and falls ahead, but well short of the first down. There's Rutledge walking around. I think Bear just wanted to give him a little rest. And it's fourth down. Alabama will punt. Buddy Holt will come in and kick. There are the deep men for Nebraska. Lockett, particularly the man they want to get the ball to. He's got it. Retreats. Better turn it upfield pretty soon, Frank. Well, he lost yardage by angling deep, trying to look for a wall of blockers on a 42-yard punt by Holt. He loses some yardage, and Nebraska's going to put it in play first down up around the 18-yard line. Monday night in Pittsburgh, the San Francisco 49ers on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern, 8 Central, and 6 Pacific time, opening the NFL season for Monday night. Howard Cosell, Frank Gifford, and Don Merritt will be the broadcasters for that one. Ball given to Burns, or is it Hip? It is Burns. It's 35.
Ball carried by Hip.
Hip, it's Hip, 32. He's the young man who was so dramatic in a couple of carries in the first half when he broke one up the middle, got loose on the sidelines with a swing pass.
And he's a walk-on from South Carolina.
Chapin. Craig, the wingback, comes into the slot now with Lee set wide to the left. Just outside the 20, second down, about 8 to go. Garcia pitches to Hip. Behind some blocking. And he's up for a first down to the 29-yard line. He's a pretty good size fellow, too. He's 6-footer, 200 pounds. Again, it was Jorgensen pulling out to lead the blocking behind Kevin Clark, and Hip used the blocking well.
He delayed while the blocking took effect and then got a little burst, and he was down for first down.
At the 29 of Nebraska. Tom Davis over the ball for the Huskers. Randy Garcia, the quarterback. Tom Sawyer started, got hurt. Handed off to the front man, Monty Anthony. The close man out of the I formation, and he punches it out to the 34 for 5 yards. Hip really lines up deep, Frank. He's way back there.
7 yards so he can see the daylight. That's the theory of the I formation. And one big point here, Keith, is Nebraska's depth at tailback, keeping a fresh man there at all times. Big factor.
He's actually deeper than Burns, though, as he lines up.
Yes, he's 8 yards.
Yeah. Second down 5 from the 34. Garcia delivers it out to Hip. Got him one-on-one. And the defender for Alabama got a piece of him. Murray Legg, number 19, who had come up. If Murray doesn't get a hold of him, he might have broke that one.
The man busted his assignment, was supposed to block Legg and ran by him, and you're right, they had 2 blockers downfield.
I should correct myself, lest I get a lot of mail from English teachers. He might have broken that
downfield. Okay.
There's Rick Burns on the sidelines. We've got 5:05 to go, third quarter, and the Cornhuskers with the ball. Third down. They need 3. They lead 24-17. Garcia's pass. Good. To Spade. Fumble. Alabama's got it. At the Nebraska 46-yard line. William Davis, number 90, a sophomore from Fort Deposit, Alabama. So they hit Spaeth for the first down yardage. He gets ripped, and he coughs it up.
The fake was to the weak side, to the left, towards the camera. Drew their linebackers over. He rolled, hit him, put that ball away. That's what you work those tight ends.
That was Don McNeil who intercepted in the end zone, who knocked the ball loose there. So he's made 2 very big plays. Stedman Shealy is the quarterback. Faust is the fullback. You've got the second unit on the field for Alabama. The second offensive unit. Shealy gives the ball away to John Crow. Crow is blocked by Whiteman as he comes to the line of scrimmage. George Andrews, number 96, defensive end for Nebraska, paid a little price here.
When he comes inside, he's reading the quarterback, and the halfback gets outside of him, and he gets hit by the fullback inside. That's unfair. That's what we call in the vice.
Sent backwards over his legs, too. Wow. Good way to get cut in half. Bolton, wide left. They take it up the middle. And it's a good thing they didn't go wide left, because there were some folks coming from over there in a big hurry.
They had overloaded their defense, and they happened to guess right, but that's only the second play. They've run up the middle in the second half. Here we have nearly 12 minutes in the third quarter, and they've run 2 plays up the middle. That's surprising.
Third down and 6 from the Nebraska 41. Third and long. Shealy hit behind the line of scrimmage. He is hit by George Andrews, who makes another big play for Nebraska. And so Stedman Shealy decked behind the line of scrimmage. It's 4th down. Alabama will punt. And Bear is not satisfied. Holt's kick, high hanger, a knuckleball, and it depends on the bounce. It bounces straight up in the air and then out of bounds. It'll be outside the 20. There's a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage. Illegal procedure against Alabama, I believe.
They should refuse it. They probably will refuse it because they've got it on the 22. It's a 20-yard kick.
You're right. Now here's Bill.
Keith, our viewers may be wondering what's happened to Jeff Rutledge. There's nothing really wrong with him. Coach Bear Bryant pulled him out. He thought he was looking just a little bit on the tired side, so they gave him what they call a quick kick, kind of a aid of orange juice, grape juice kind of thing, and he's going to be back in, but he's not hurt.
Thank you, sir. Let's call it the 22-yard line of Nebraska. First down, Huskers. They lead 24-17. 3 minutes, 10 seconds to go, third quarter. Burns the eye-back. Little popping right there, wasn't he, as he ran into Rich Wingo, the linebacker. He got about a yard, maybe 2.
That's a picturesque tackle. That's what you call stunning up on the ball carrier. No shoulder or arm tackle there.
Of course, the ball player did the right thing, too, didn't he, Coach? He put his head down and got under the chin.
He sure did, and protected that ball in traffic.
2 well-coached teams. They've moved it up and down, but they've done it with aplomb. Elon from the 24, 2nd and 8 for Nebraska. Burns At the 25, he's dropped. He'll have a yard cut down by Murray Legg. So Legg again makes another good defensive play for Alabama. And that'll bring up third down and long. Bill, what you got?
Well, you said earlier you didn't think maybe this was an upset, Keith, and maybe some people don't consider it so, but a final score. Clemson defeated Georgia today, 7-6, and thereby Clemson coming back after being defeated by Maryland last week.
Little indication, I think, of the Tigers' strength down there in Death Valley, particularly. They played the heck out of Maryland last week before losing late in the ball game, and they get a big win today. Third down, long, 3rd and 7. Garcia to throw. Gets it off. Got a man. Penalty flag down. They play is short of the first down, however, as the pass is caught by Kenny Brown in at the wingback position. Illegal procedure against Nebraska. Alabama can refuse the penalty and make Nebraska kick because they'll be looking at 4th down.
That's a tough decision if Alabama has confidence in their defense to put them back to the 12-yard line, close to the 11-yard line. Having to go to the 33 to make the first down. It looks like they're going to refuse. They're going to refuse.
Want the ball. Tony Nathan goes deep. That's what the tailbacks for Nebraska have produced today, or as they call them here, the I-backs. Hip with 30 or 3 carries and 96 for Rick Burns. That doesn't include, though, that gallop by Hip. There are 10 white shirts coming. Kick is away. Big rush. It goes to Nathan, and Nebraska should have good coverage downfield because 10 white shirts were coming. Not a particularly good kick. Only 36 yards. Alabama gets it back. Good field position at the 45. Bill?
Halftime score from Jackson, Mississippi. Ole Miss leading Notre Dame by the score of 10-7 as Bobby Garner has passed to James Story, a 10-yarder. And by the way, you'll see that the highlights of that game tomorrow on College Football 77, our new half-hour show over most of these ABC stations. Keith?
First down, Alabama, 45-yard line. Rutledge is back in at quarterback, fumbles the ball. Back to the 42-yard line for a loss of about 3 yards on the play. So Rutledge, who was rested on the sidelines for 2 offensive series, comes in and fumbles. So it's been a tough half on Jack so far.
Well, the setup had been taking the ball, snapping the ball to the other quarterback, and a little bit different rhythm with each quarterback.
I saw enough of that last Saturday in Pittsburgh. Good grief. Call it the 43, a loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Rutledge to throw it, dumps it to Neal. Neal is clobbered as he gets into Nebraska country down to about the Husker 43, and that's just enough for the first down. Pillen hit him hard. But it will be an Alabama first down as we have 51 seconds to play in the 3rd quarter.
Rutledge is not going to panic. 2 interceptions, come back and hit a pass right down the middle over the linebacker's head in front of the safety.
And you better have something on it when you throw it in that zone, too.
And he rifled it in there.
He's 11 out of 22 now for 154 yards. First down, Nebraska 43. Rutledge keeping, turns it up, and gets to the 37 before number 38, Lee Kuntz, brings him down. It's going to be quite a struggle when we get down toward the end of this ball game and start trying to pick out offensive and defensive players. I'll tell you.
You could vote for a half a dozen. Has Chevrolet got that much money?
Coming inside 10 seconds now in the 3rd quarter. Alabama with the ball, Nebraska 37. 2nd down, 4. Rutledge to Davis. Johnny pops it in over the left side for what appears to be a first down. The 3rd quarter is over. 15 minutes to go. Nebraska 24, Alabama 17.
It's going to be a little short. About 70 miles. This is Bob for Texaco Hope in the Gulf of Mexico. This water is 260 feet deep. It can cost up to 6 times more to drill for oil out here than on land. But we've got to do this if America is to become less dependent on unreliable sources of oil from abroad. At Texaco, we're working to keep your trust.
Chevrolet introduces the new size Malibu with new V6 power. It has power for the highway, The quiet Malibu with power for every day. Smooth power. The smooth power for today. New V6 power. Coming in the new size Malibu from Chevrolet.
Saturday at Starsky and Hutch on Playboy Island, a special 2-hour season premiere.
When the frost is on the pumpkin and the fodder's in the shock, it's nice to know the milder man will work around the clock. When thermometers read 0, you don't even call the man. Delivery's automatic with the milder keep full plan. At 342-2111, to this idea we're loyal. You can have a milder winter if you heat with milder oil.
If you want a dishwasher that cleans so well that it even rinses the dishes before it washes the dishes, this time, make it Hot Point.
At the Nebraska Furniture Mart, you get the lowest price on any Hot Point dishwasher. Lowest prices, too, on the Middle West's largest selection of famous name carpeting, area rugs, bedding, and all other home furnishings. No one beats the Nebraska Furniture Mart on selection and price ever.
Channel 7's the one.
And on a final just in, Penn State, which meets Maryland next week, defeated Houston today 31-14. We begin the fourth quarter, and here's Keith Jackson.
Thank you, Bill. Alabama trying to move it. Third down and just a little bit of real estate needed for the first down. And you see Tony Nathan go over the right side and bite off a big chunk, about 7 yards, to move it down for a first down. There's Sorley on the sidelines, started today for Nebraska at quarterback. Tom is checking the shoulder. He left in the first quarter. Garcia has done a superb job in relief of him at the signal calling position. Now it is at the Nebraska 27-yard line where it is first down for the Crimson Tide. Rutledge is in at quarterback for Alabama. Rutledge to throw it. Looks for Newsom. Got him open. Ozzie makes a fine falling catch. The man has incredible hands, and Ted Harvey was there to pin him down.
Once again, it's the out pattern to Newsom because they're playing him deep. They brought their strong safety up in the running game. You can see the right defensive halfback playing deep, giving him the flat. It was audibleized by the quarterback in a sensational catch.
Seventh catch for 116 yards for Ozzie Newsom. The time of possession is virtually even starting the fourth quarter. 23:06 Alabama, 21:54 Nebraska. Huskers lead 24-17. Second down, they need just a little bit. Rutledge turns it up. No, he does not, because Jim Whiteman, number 59, is right there to pin him for a loss. And it'll be third down now and a better part of 2 yards for Alabama. Sort of surprised he didn't either go long or send the big guy in the middle. Third quarter numbers are right there.
It's about even, as we can see, 350 to 305, and now the turnovers have evened up.
And the change will come on. They're going to give the forward progress, apparently, a little more than we thought, so they'll check it out and see whether or not they have a first down or how much they do need, in fact, for the first down. They are short. They need about 6 inches. Total yardage so far in this ball game, 665 yards for the two teams. So the defensive staffs of these respective teams, I suggest, might have some long nights in front of them.
Well, we felt that way before the game started, that the offenses had all the weapons.
Third down for Alabama. They need about 6. They've got big Johnny Davis lined up at fullback in the wishbone. He's never been tackled for a loss in 4 years now at Alabama. But he doesn't get it. They give it instead to the second man. They send Davis over the right side behind Kreider and Bunch. Give it to the second fellow, and Davis becomes, in effect, a blocking lineman under that condition and gives Nathan some room.
And the right halfback led through, too. It's just a power play to make that first down, and Nathan can leap over the line very effectively at times, and he's got a sprained ankle and has to take himself out.
That puts John Crow in the backfield for Alabama, where it is first down from the 13-yard line of Nebraska. The Huskers are leading 24-17 in the fourth quarter, 13:30 to go in the game. Rutledge rolls. He looks. He throws for Bolton. He's got it. He's out of bounds at about the 4, and they beat Ted Harvey on the play. Larry Velasic coming over to help, but couldn't get there in time. A look at Mr. Bolton doing his thing.
Keith, normally the defensive halfback won't respect deep this close to the goal line, but he does. And here again, it's an out pattern, and finally the defensive halfback makes the break, but it's right on target. Had to be.
It also indicates the strength of Jeff Rutledge's arm.
And the confidence, because he audibilized to it.
And so it is 2nd down and 2. That is Crow diving for the first down. He should have it. Looks like Alabama might be working now at 1st and goal, down around the 2-yard line.
You have to give Bunch and Crowder the credit. Crowder's about 260 pounds, and Bunch was the finest freshman they've ever had at Alabama, and their key situations, they're running right behind him.
John Crow did his job. He comes out. Nathan's back in.
And this is their favorite goal line play, running right behind those two mammoth linemen.
1st and goal from the 2. Nathan, short. Got half of it. 13 minutes to go in the game. Alabama trying to tie it right here. Whatever wind advantage there might be in the 4th quarter will belong to Alabama.
The end zone stands block most of the wind from having much effect down on the field, particularly in the passing game, maybe a little bit in the punting game.
Ball is marked, as you see, inside the 1. 2nd down, goal to go for the Tide. Nathan, touchdown. Not much noise, is there?
I was going to say, not much noise. But Nathan is good on that play because he gets the ball deep in the backfield. The quarterback turns, not a really wishbone play. They turn and hand the ball deep in the backfield. The fullback and right halfback lead him right over Bunch and Crowder, who are moving the defensive line back. And then he has great spring, like old Sam Cunningham used to do at Southern Cal.
For the extra point, Roger Chapman out of Kevin Jones' hole. This will tie it. Penalty flag down. Nebraska was offside. I don't know if there was movement inside the line, but I do know that there was an offside move by one of the men in the red shirt. So they wave off the penalty, I think. And the score is now 24-24.
A 1-year-old diehard, a 2-year-old diehard, a 3-year-old diehard, and a 4-year-old diehard. More than 3 hours later, they all started. Even the 4-year-old diehard. The diehard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't. Sold only at Sears.
You'll never regret the purchase of a good stock. You don't say. Yeah, my broker says it's a real good buy. What does your broker say?
Well, my broker's E.F. Hutton. And Hutton says...
When E.F. Hutton talks, people listen.
Roberto Duran defends his world lightweight title today on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Well, Maryland has come to life. In the 3rd quarter, they scored 2 touchdowns, and now with 8 minutes and 17 seconds to go in that game, they've narrowed the gap to 10 points. We're down 1 point at 24-0. All right, let's go back to this one.
24-24. Bear Bryant was trying to get time called to accept the penalty against Nebraska, possibly to put him in position to go for 2 points, but it had already been waved off before he could get involved. And so the Bear now is looking at a 24-24 ball game, as is Tom Osborne, coach of the Nebraska Cornhuskers, with 12 minutes and 34 seconds to play in the 4th quarter. What a ball game. Alabama has the wind advantage as Chapman kicks it into the end zone. He's hit the end zone on every one of his kicks today, and Curtis Craig isn't going to fool with it. He just says, let's take it out there to the 20, and where we know we got it.
That was a wise decision because they'd kicked from the 45, and the lineman was 5 yards closer to where he caught the ball.
So here is Nebraska now in a tie ball game with Randy Garcia coming in at quarterback. 1st down, Huskers at the 20. They're looking into the wind, but it's not that much. It's not that much right now, anyway. Anthony and Burns are the deep backs for Nebraska. That's Anthony. Not much. 2 at the most. Ricky Gilliland, number 92, is on the bottom of that stack as he moved over to help out the defensive lineman.
Second down, ball is on the 22.
Call it second down and 8 from the 22. Lead to the right side for Nebraska. Garcia obviously audibilizing, gives it out on that counter reverse to the wingback Curtis Craig, and Craig gets it out to the 28-yard line. He stumbled a little bit as he started to make his cut. Otherwise, he might have picked up enough for the first down.
Or maybe a touchdown, because all of Alabama's defense had rotated to the field, and he audibilized to the reverse, the fake to the field, and it left them bare with defensive people to the boundary, and they were lucky to get them down.
Now, Nebraska's been audibilizing quite a bit, as you see the average gains and the number of plays in the game. It might serve them well now to go on our first sound, wouldn't it? Quick snap.
It would catch Alabama moving.
5-man front for the Tide. Linebackers in that 52 defense. Pitch goes to Rick Burns. He's got the first down. He's a runner. He's out to the 34.
The big thing on that particular play that O.J. Simpson made so famous off the eye, you get us tied to the line of scrimmage, and a good back turns inside, makes the first down.
Rick Burns is now going over 100 yards of the game on 16 carries. He has 102.
He's made some great cuts.
First down, Huskers, just short of the 34. A tie ball game, 24-24. Fourth quarter, 10:59 to go. Garcia rides it out, gives it to Burns. Burns trying to outrun the pursuit, and he's up to about the 38 before he is brought down by McLean and Rich Wingo. I'll tell you, that Wingo fellow has been all over the football field today, too.
He's still inside on the wide plays, kind of like an extra linebacker, even though he's a safety and a linebacker, excuse me.
See now that Burns totals 106 on 17 carries in this ball game. Andra Franklin, number 39, is on the field now at fullback for Nebraska. Second down, 6. Whistle stops it before the play develops. Too much time, Nebraska.
And the reason is that Alabama's defense were moving backward and forward, and Garcia wanted to change the play, and it takes a little while to call another play, change the blocking, give the lineman a chance to adjust to the defense and adjust to their blocking. 5-yard penalty.
Andra Franklin, who is now leaving the ball game, having been in one play, he came to Nebraska from Alabama.
That's hard to do. Leave that state.
Well, he's from Anniston. Freshman. Second down now, 11 yards to go for Nebraska. The ball will be put in play at the 33. Long count again. Garcia swings it out to Rick Burns. Penalty flag goes down as Rick Burns gets it up to the 40, close to the 45-yard line. Let's see what the call is. It was a swing pass. In a sense, it was completed behind the line of scrimmage. One of these days, we're going to get somebody throw one automatically back there because the lineman being downfield, because they're sometimes screened away, but apparently this is not the case here.
No, their man that faked through the line had grabbed a hold of their linebacker.
Holding Nebraska. Bad break for the Huskers. That's going to back them up.
The new rule has really opened up offensive football. I'm impressed with the new rule, and that particular swing pass Nebraska has used for years, and sometimes it works, sometimes it didn't, but now you can block downfield before they catch it, block the linebackers, big play.
So good happenings for the Tide, bad news for the Huskers as the ball is marched back 15 yards to the 26-yard line. Penalties now, Nebraska 6 for 47 yards total. Alabama only 2 calls against them for 15 yards. 10 minutes to go in the game. It's second down at the 26. They've got to go to the 44 for the first down. They give it to Rick Burns. And Burns is over the 33-yard line. And they're looking at long yardage on third down. Let's check up with other scores. Look at that final, Bill.
Yes, sir. That is the final now. West Virginia over Maryland 24-16. That means we've got our second big upset of the day. Clemson earlier had nosed out Georgia 7-6.
The incredible balance in college football today, Keith.
Third down and 12 yards to go from the 33. Garcia to put it up. He throws for Smith. He's got it. An incredible catch by Tim Smith. He caught it over Don McNeil. You talk about concentration.
He was in bounds on the fly pattern with his feet. He reached back on just the fly pattern. He reached back, it looked like, out of bounds and kept his feet in bounds, which is legal.
You can't fault McNeil because he did about everything he could do except hit him with a hoe handle.
Everything has happened in this game for both teams. Great offense.
Right near the 35-yard line of Alabama. First down, Nebraska. 24-24 game, 9:15 to play in the fourth quarter. Garcia turns and pitches wide to Burns. He's on the corner, and he's close to a first down. Mike Kramer ran him out. One more look at that catch that Smith looked into his hands.
He's sprinting down the field, and McNeil has him covered perfectly. And it appears that he kept his feet in bounds, Smith, but he reached out behind him with the ball out of bounds and catching the ball. Reaching right there and pulls it in and lands in bounds with 1 foot.
First down as Burns got around the corner to make it first down at the Alabama 25. Garcia still got it. He's got room on the sideline. And they shove him out. He just stood back there and hid the ball for a while. He had the defensive unit for Alabama sort of frozen. If he'd have started a half a step sooner, he might have gone all the way.
Byrne made a great fake up the middle. It was a type of a bootleg pass where he put the ball on his hip, retreated, and hoped to get him behind the secondary. But Alabama wasn't fooled on the play, but he showed a lot of confidence and broke for a nice game.
8 yards just inside the Alabama 18. They go to the 15, so it's about 2.5 yards for the first down. A 24-24 ball game with 9 minutes to play in it. In motion. Give it to Monty Anthony. Up the middle he goes to the 10-yard line. One surge after another in this ball game.
They put a man in motion, and somehow that distracts the lineman and gets the offense moving off that line, and they hand it off to the fullback, and up the middle he went.
There's the passing and running yardage in this game, and now Nebraska's moved ahead in the running department, just barely. First down, just outside the 10-yard line. It's Rick Burns. He just hammers you. He's to the 5. There's nothing fancy about him. When he comes at you straight on, he just simply comes as hard as he can and says, here I am. Take your best shot.
And he's tough to get down, but that play was set up by the blocking of Ken Spade. He hooked the Alabama defensive end. They had to pull back and guard out in front of him, and Burns just turned downfield very wise to get as much as he could.
Burns now at 129 yards in the ball game. 123 yards in the ball game. At the 5, second down. Garcia keeps it, coming down the line, pitches it outside to Burns, and he gets to the 3. And Randy held it just as long as he dared.
That was an unusual play. That was a misdirection, whirly-bird option with second down 5 on the 3-yard line, but they got away with it.
They can get a first down without scoring, just short of the goal line. Third down is coming up from the Alabama 3, 7 minutes and 45 seconds to play in the game. Time has been called. Alabama 24, Nebraska 24, and threatening.
A lot of corn, a lot of class, a lot of style, a lot of style, a lot of brass. The song of the American Eagle, the song of the places we call home.
The Goodyear American Eagle Radio, on sale. Buy one at regular price, get the second one at half price. The American Eagle with flexed-in cord belts, made from a man-made aramid fiber that's pound for pound stronger than steel. Now, buy one, get the second one at half price.
Touch, the first computer TV. Magnavox Touch-Tune Color Television. Touch, and lock in computer sharp color, computer fast. Touch, no need to fine-tune ever. Computer controlled color. Touch, even by remote. Star System Touch-Tune Color Television from Magnavox.
Time to trade in for Touch-Tune. Trade in your old TV for any new Magnavox Touch-Tune Color Television and save big.
Alabama football, which has helped make the university world famous, is a firm support to the school's basic endeavor, instruction. Revenue from football finances other sports and recreation for all students, enabling the institution to allot a greater share of its income to the primary purpose of teaching in all areas.
Nebraska threatening. Third down at the Alabama 3-yard line. The last team to score 30 points on Alabama was Nebraska, when the Huskers beat them in the Orange Bowl, January 1, 1972, 38-6.
There's been a lot of offense in all of their games.
Third down, they need almost 3 yards for a first down, 3 yards for a touchdown. Garcia wants to throw it, going to run it now. Cuts it back inside, penalty flag. He goes down just short of the goal line, and we've got a penalty flag thrown in the end zone. Might have a holding call over there, and I don't know who it'll be against. Let's see. It's against Alabama. Half the distance will set up third down and very, very short yardage for a possible first down. I don't think it will not, for a fact, give them a first down. Puts them on the 1-yard line, and to get a first down, they're going to have to go to 6 inches away from the goal line. So with 7:39 to play in the game, Nebraska 24, Alabama 24. Nebraska with the ball at the Alabama 1. And I'll say they can get a first down without scoring. Just barely. Burns is deep in the I formation. Garcia dives. Does not have a touchdown. Does he have a first down? That's the question.
Middle linebacker made a fantastic play to stop him from scoring. If indeed he did.
All depends on where they put it. They are short of the first down. I do believe they will measure it to make sure. Gilliland and Krause, very obvious on that play. Just short of the first down. Just short. Now the people under the gun are the big guys in the trenches. What do? Do you send your fullback in first and let Burns follow it? Garcia has the play on the sideline. Here he comes. It is fourth down. They need 6 inches for a first down. They need a foot for the touchdown.
They're not likely to go with the sneak again since they just stopped. It take a lot of courage to call the sneak again. They may have it.
Alabama goes down solid up front. Burns! Touchdown! Tackle and Mark Dufresne, the tight end on the left side. He went right over the top of them as they collapsed on the Alabama defensive lineman, and Rick put it in, and he looked shaken up when he left the field. The snap for Tard. Low snap handled well by Garcia, and it is good. With 7 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the game, Nebraska 31, Alabama 24.
Chevrolet announces a lot more Chevette for a lot less money. New Chevette standard equipment includes a radio, white wall tires, console, sports steering wheel, 1.6-liter engine, 17 new standard features in all. Front bucket seats, plus a wide hatch, carpeting, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, and more. The 78 Chevy Chevette. A lot more Chevette for a lot less money.
Hey, Schlitz wants you to have a ball. Pass the word, pass the word.
Hey, now's the time to pick up plenty of Schlitz.
Pass the word, pass the word, pass the word.
Because the Schlitz football offer is here. Look for this display at participating stores and save up to $5 on an official Wilson football. Come on.
Pick up Schlitz and have a ball. Pass the word, pass the word, pass the Schlitz.
Well, the folks in Lincoln are happy. Now let's see what the Nebraska defense can do with the Alabama offense as Billy Todd gets ready to kick to Major Ogilvy and Tony Nathan. It's Ogilvy. He spins around and gets control of it at the 11. Got a wall. Down he goes. Good return. He's out to the 28-yard line, and you want to see a football player fly? Watch number 35.
That's the great thing about the I formation. You can lead with your big fullback and hand the ball off deep, no chance of a fumble, and get plenty of time to jump over.
127 yards rushing now for Burns, 10 yards receiving, 35 in passing. That's total yardage of 162 that he's accounted for in the game now. Remember that nifty little pass that he delivered, too.
This game will give him a lot of confidence.
Yes, it will. It's at the 29 of Alabama. First down for the Tide. 7:05 to play in the game. They trail by 7. They give it to Nathan. And Nathan runs into Jeff Carpenter, tumbles him over the 35 to about the 37. So that's a good solid gain of almost 9 yards.
Look at the scoring drive of 80 yards. That's the only drive I think they've taken over 9 plays. That was really a good, solid drive with no mistakes.
And 5 minutes plus in doing it. Time not quite yet a factor, but it will be very shortly. At the 37, second down 2. Rutledge to Nathan. But at second effort, the surge, and he's close to the first down. Ted Harvey came up to hit him. Nathan weighs 198 pounds. Now, he's nothing timid about him. He can take you down.
He wasn't expected the safety man to be there. He should have been blocked by the tight end. Somehow the tight end didn't get out. He was looking, when he got the pitch, he was ready to go.
And Tony got the first down. 15 carries, 76 yards for him. First down at the 39. Rutledge gives it off to Davis. And Davis chunks it over the 40. Out about the 42. That'll be 3 yards for him. Working out of the I formation again. They've done it a number of times. There's Rick Burns on the sidelines. His running total on the day. 2nd and 7 coming up from near the 42 for Alabama. Time now running along at 5:50 to go in the game, and the Huskers lead 31-24. Rutledge stands to throw. Whips it. It's incomplete. Penalty on it. Interference called against Ted Harvey, number 31. Keith Pugh, number 4, was the intended receiver, and Harvey's getting a little tired of them picking on him, so he went in there and clinched him, and he got there just a tad too soon.
It was a quick look-in pass, and the defense that Nebraska are playing are forcing all pass receivers to the inside, and Alabama's going to have to throw inside, but it's tempting for that defensive halfback like Harvey did to charge up when that end slants inside quickly. It's just a quick slant-in pass, and it's just too tempting for the defensive back to stay off on him. But he did get his hands on him before the ball got there. Pass interference and first down.
And it's a first down just inside Nebraska territory, just over the 50 for Alabama. Nebraska encroaching on the play. Nathan gets outside. And he has his legs knocked from under him by Tim Fisher, number 16, down around the 36-yard line. There was encroachment by a Nebraska lineman inside.
They had a pass rush on Keith. The linebacker was right up in the line, and they're not used to being that close, and they got across the neutral zone and were offside.
They'll take the play. It is good for another first down. Call it the Nebraska 35-yard line. And Lance Benzat, who is the new defensive coordinator for Nebraska, is a gambling coach.
He was blitzing thinking Alabama was going to throw on first down. They were man-for-man coverage, and therefore the option went for a big gain.
And you have 5:20 to play in the game. Alabama's on the march again. They trail by 7. Rutledge keeps. Gets some out of it as Jeff is brought down by Lee Kuntz and Jeff Carpenter, the two linebackers for Nebraska. The advance of the ball from the 35 to the 32 for 3 yards.
I think that Lance was figuring that in the first half, the statistics showed that Alabama threw on first down 8 out of 20 possessions and possibilities, and so you blitz on first down if that's what the statistics tell you.
Ozzie Newsome going off to the right side. Rick Neal will be the tight end at the left side. Newsome is also playing a tight end position. And the pitch is to Nathan, back to Rutledge. Rutledge wants to go deep. He throws instead to the sidelines and bounces it into Bruce Bolton. The ball bounced before Bruce could get it. He sent Ozzie Newsome on a fly deep from the tight end position, and he tried to go to Bolton short and just missed him.
Actually, on the pattern, they had 2-on-1, and both the defensive backs of Nebraska went to cover the deep man and left the short man wide open, and Rutledge saw it, but he just couldn't get the ball there.
Bruce really trying, though. He was reaching, wasn't he? That's reminiscent of the touchdown that UCLA almost had in the end zone last Monday night against Houston.
The biggest play of the game right here.
3rd down and 7. Rutledge is throwing for Newsome. It is incomplete. Velocic came over to help out Tim Fisher, and they knock it away. And little Larry Velocic, 5'10", 160-pound senior from Silver Creek, Nebraska.
That was a great call defensively, Keith. They invited Rutledge to throw the out pattern. He audibilized, but then they changed their defense. So he goes back to their second choice, but they're covered there also.
And Alabama calls time, which means they have 2 timeouts left. Nebraska, 2 timeouts left. And watch number 4 come into the picture now. 16 was there, but Velocic is the fellow who comes over with a big leap right here.
You know, he just got his hand on great play. Newsome was going up after it. He wanted that football.
When you beat Newsome, you have done something. He's a tough fellow. Alabama now has won 79 plays to 65 for Nebraska. Coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, World Lightweight Boxing Championship with Roberto Duran defending against Edwin Viruet. You'll also have the Women's AAU Platform Diving Championship from Woodlands outside of Houston, Texas. That'll be 5 on the West Coast, 5 p.m., and following the Prudential College School Board over the rest of the country.
Keith, right here, Alabama have got to decide as to exactly what pass they're going to throw. They're not going to give them the out pass, and they're going to drop the linebackers deep because they're not going to worry about the run fake. So it makes it tough. This is a tough call.
4th down and 7 from the 32. Rutledge goes over the middle. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Jim Pillen. Penalty flag down. Holding Alabama. Nebraska will take the ball. That is the 4th interception of Jeff Rutledge.
Keith, when you throw down the middle, you have to throw it on rhythm. Rutledge was a little bit late. He had a man wide open against the 2-deep zone. Couldn't get the ball to him. The defense reacted. But you'll see the receiver down the middle was wide open momentarily. But you have to time it. Here's the tight end. He's wide open. He's wide open. But time the ball gets there, they've broken on the throw.
.4:14 to go in the game. Now time becomes an ally of Nebraska. From the 29-yard line, first down, and the crowd goes very quiet to let the quarterback talk to the halfbacks, and it's I.M. Hip popping out of there. And I think Rick Burns might have been shaken up when he went over for the touchdown because he went gingerly to the sidelines. And so Isaiah M. Hip is in at the deep back position for Nebraska, and he gets it up across the 30 to the 32.
An average back would have taken a loss. He ran in the straight defense, safety and linebacker scraped, and he jumped over both of them.
You saw 29 on the sidelines, Pillen, who had made that big interception for Nebraska. 2nd down and 7 from the 32. First man, Anthony. A yard, that's all. Terry Jones, middle guard. Kraus, linebacker. It'll be 3rd down. They need 7 from the 33. Even in his exuberance of success, he still looks tired, doesn't he?
Yes. Yes.
3rd and 7. Long count again. Garcia put it up. Short over the middle. Skins Faith. He's short of the 1st down. As 4 white shirts come over to get him. Gilliland, the first one to get there. And so it'll bring up a 4th down for Nebraska. Here's Bill.
All right, at Iowa City, Iowa State has just missed a 40-yard field goal. So with 3 minutes and 49 seconds to go in that one, Iowa still leads at 12-10. And Notre Dame has just scored with 11 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. Resnick has kicked a 41-yard field goal. It's 10-10 with Ole Miss and Notre Dame. All right, Keith.
At the 36-yard line, and there are 10 white shirts a-coming. Alabama going for the block try here. Smith's kick is away. It's a pretty good kick to Nathan. To Newsom. It's Nathan, I guess, back there. It's the 39-yard punt, 22 receiving it. Back at the 27-yard line, Alabama gets the ball. They trail by 7, 31-24, and they have 2 minutes and 8 seconds to play with.
Are you going home? Not me. I want to see these last 2 minutes. Alabama with Rutledge can do anything. They've got a chance.
Well, you know the man that Nebraska has got to be looking at will be Newsom. Alabama, time of possession, 28.5 minutes, and Nebraska, 29 minutes, 22 seconds. Straight up ball game, huh? Rutledge to throw. Gets pressure. Gets away from the pressure. Has to run it out of bounds. Number 96, George Andrews, was in there chasing him. Bill Barnett was in there chasing him and belted him out. But if Rutledge had been a little bit quicker of foot, he might have turned that one upfield.
He had a chance, but the quick pursuit got him cornered there in a hurry. But, Keith, they've got Newsom at tight end and 2 other wideouts because they're giving him the middle, and they're going to go the best receiver down the middle or drag route like they did then. But Newsom's in the middle to try to attack that twin safety defense.
2nd down, 8 from the 29-yard line of Alabama. Velasic way back playing center field. Pressure's on again. Rutledge tries to throw it, can't do it. It is Kerry Weinmaster and a penalty flag now.
Yep.
Might be a late hit against Nebraska.
Keith, on the new rule this year, they come back to the line of scrimmage on that penalty. It used to be from the spot. It might not have given them a 1st down, but they should move back to the line of scrimmage on the new rule.
Watch now. You see the quarterback is down, and there's the late hit. And it might turn to be very expensive. The man who came late was Barney Cotton, and it gives Alabama the ball up at the 39-yard line, and it gives them a 1st down.
And the clock is stopped and don't start until the snap under the new rule.
With 1 minute and 51 seconds left to play in the game. We'd like to welcome the New England audience who's been watching the Yale-Brown game and tell you that it'd take me a week to tell you all that's happened here in Lincoln, Nebraska. But the score is 31-24. Nebraska is leading Alabama with 1 minute and 51 seconds to play in the game. 1st down, Alabama. The ball is handed back to Rutledge. Over the middle it goes for Newsom. It's intercepted by Pillen. That's his 2nd interception of the ball game. And that may do it. It's the 5th interception of Jeff Rutledge. 1 minute and 41 seconds to play in the game. Nebraska has the ball, and they lead 31-24. So it is Jim Pillen who comes out of the defensive pack to emerge as the hero here in the closing moments of the ball game. Another look at it.
It was a dipsy-doodle play. They pitched off the tailback, and he hands it back to the quarterback and trying to throw down the middle, but it's just too long, too delayed. The safety men can react up on it.
And it's first down Cornhuskers at their own 46-yard line. All they've got to do is use up 1 minute and 41 seconds. Alabama has 2 timeouts remaining in the game. Give the ball to Rick Burns, who's back in there, and he takes a hard hit as Krause and Kramer team up on him. So let's go back to the play that might have saved the game for Nebraska.
Houston is in at tight end because they're in the 2 deep safety men trying to cover the width of the field. And the ball has got to be thrown at no deeper than 15 yards, and this one is a little bit deeper, and the secondary pulling comes in front of him, makes a tremendous interception, and he'll remember that all of his days.
Second down and 7 from near midfield, the 49. Clock running, 1 minute to play in the game. Garcia pitches to Burns. Rick Burns keeps shaking tacklers and finally gets the ball up to midfield for a yard gain. Stays inbounds. The clock sailing along at 50 seconds to go. Alabama with 2 timeouts spins one right here. And so with 48 ticks remaining on the clock, Nebraska's on the verge of their first victory, a big win over Alabama.
You're about to be welcomed to one of the best hotels in the world. The hotels with the best locations, near the things you need to be near. The hotels with the best system of standards for taking care of you.
Do I hear a reaction?
Else. Holiday Inn welcomes you to some of the best hotels in the world.
I was asked to talk about the incredible Black & Decker Workmate. There's almost nothing it can't hold. But the Workmate is so incredible, I'm going to let it do the talking. The Workmate from Black & Decker and nobody else. When America has a job to do, it reaches for Black & Decker.
Roberto Duran defends his world lightweight title today on ABC's Wide World of Sports.
With 33 seconds remaining in the game, Nebraska has the ball, 3rd down and 7 at midfield. They lead 31-24. They should be able to run out the clock, though Alabama, with 1 timeout remaining, will be able to stop it with a timeout. 3rd and 7 right here. They give it to Monty Anthony, the fullback, and he is belted short of the line of scrimmage. They pile him back.
Now Alabama will try to block this kick, I'm sure, Keith.
Clock is stopped now at 27 seconds to play, and the Tide's going to get 1 more chance. As time is out on the field with that final timeout, so let's wait for the final 27.
If you're an investor, I have 3 questions for you. 1, who spends $9 million a year on securities research? 2, who can speed that research to you on a global information network? 3, who spends $14 million a year training its account executives? You know who. There are lots of investment firms, but there's only one Merrill Lynch.
Keep on doing that till I get it right. Yeah, I work hard and I play hard, and I use new STP gas treatment. You just pump it in your tank and it goes to work cleaning your carburetor. I take good care of my wheels on account of I'm cheap. I bet you are too. Try it.
All right, and here are the offensive and defensive stars of today's game. Rick Burns with 165 yards of Nebraska, the Chevrolet offensive player of the game, and Jim Pillen, defensive back of the Cornhuskers, who did such a great job today. The defensive back, $1,000 scholarships in their names to Nebraska from Chevrolet to the General Scholarship Fund. Okay, Keith.
Tim Smith will punt on 4th down. Alabama trying to block it. Kick is away, and it bounces away from the receiver, Nathan. And Tony Nathan with no chance to get a hold of it. Nebraska downs it at the 20. You have 19 seconds to play in the game. That punt only traveled 31 yards, but under the circumstances, not that bad.
Oh, just get it off. Just
get it off, catch it and kick it, don't take any steps. That's what he did.
19 seconds. Alabama, no timeouts remaining. Nebraska leading by 7 points, 31-24. Rutledge will throw. Throws to Newsom. Ozzy's got it. Shakes one. Dragged down at the 37. Clock is running. Once they get the chains in place, that is a first down. The moment the chain goes down, the clock starts with 12 seconds to go in the game. And looks like Rutledge is shaken and hurt on the play with Kevin Jones rushing in at quarterback, and Rutledge hobbles off the field. So Kevin Jones is in. He stands and he throws it out of bounds. And you got 6 seconds left to play in the game. Prudential College Scoreboard coming up right after we leave the air here. Then you'll have ABC's Wide World of Sports with the World Lightweight Boxing Championship bout between champion Roberto Duran, Edwin Viruet, and the National AAU Platform Diving Championship for women. This is Keith Jackson along with Frank Broyles and Bill Fleming from Lincoln, Nebraska, and what a ball game we have had today. My goodness, time is out on the field. Last play of the game coming. Executive producer of NCAA football, Rune Arledge. Coverage of today's game produced by Chuck Howard. Directed by Andy Sedaris. Technical director Lynn Alfonso. Associate producer Rick Lasavita. Associate director Vic Gonzalez. Our engineering supervisor Bob Armbruster. Unit manager Peter DiPaolo and Kurt Goddard Jr., the assistant to the producer. Jerry Klein, research. And Mike Swanson, stats. I think I covered most everybody. And a ton of folks who have worked hard to make it possible. Too much time marked off against Alabama with 6 seconds remaining. Jeff Rutledge hobbling off the field, 14 out of 29 for 189 yards in passing, but 5 interceptions and 4 in the second half. And Nebraska jumps offside, makes contact. That comes 5 yards back now. So we're still waiting for the final 6 seconds to tick off the clock. Well, the first weekend last year was the day of surprise. In 1977, the second weekend has been the day of surprise, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, and I think it's going to be that way. I think we're in for the most exciting year in the history of college football.
Second down for Alabama and 10. Kevin Jones throws it. It goes over the middle. The pass is incomplete, intended for Pugh. The incomplete pass stops the clock with 2 ticks remaining. So it's a loss here at Nebraska, the first regular season game ever between Alabama and the Cornhuskers. They had met in 3 previous bowl games, but this is the first time in the regular season. And it's been a pistol. Jones to throw. Gets it off and bounces it in front of Pugh. The ball game is over. They roar in Lincoln. Because the Cornhuskers have won at home 31-24 over Bama.
You are watching 2 automatic typewriters in action. One is the best known. The other can automatically type in both directions at the rate of up to 350 words per minute. The automatic typewriter that's twice as fast is made by Xerox. That's right, Xerox.
Good buddies, my new 40-channel realistic. Radio Shack's got it on sale right now for only $79. I save $60. Best deal I made all year.
And realistic sure is a good brand.
TN4 on that, you can depend on realistic. They've been making them for 16 years.
The sale price 40-channel CB by Realistic. Only at Radio Shack. The Tandy Company.
Travel arrangements made through. Promotional fee paid by United Airlines. Fly the friendly skies of United where you're the boss. Once again, the final score, Nebraska 31, Alabama 24. This is a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Thrills and action tomorrow night. Watch a story of heroism, love, and rivalry between two ambitious brothers set against a background of war. Peter Strauss and Barbara Parkins star in a world premiere movie, Young Joe, the Forgotten Kennedy. Watch tomorrow at 9, 8 Central and Mountain on ABC.
Everybody has somebody, somewhere. And now's the time to see them with United Airlines Freedom Fare.
There's no one in this land who has so much to live as you, my friend. And there's no one in this land who has so much to give as we do, my friend.
Bringing more people to people. We built the largest airline in the free world around you.
Wide open blue skies.
Across America's great rolling heartland, a commitment to quality has made Amoco the lead-free leader. Now comes new Amoco Premium Lead-Free, the higher octane lead-free gasoline for cars that need higher octane to run the way they should. Your car may need it if it knocks or pings when you accelerate. Choose Amoco Premium Lead-Free in the gold pump or the Midwest's best-selling lead-free in the blue. You expect more from a leader.
What do you want for your money? Safety? At Conservative Savings and Loan, savings are guaranteed by a federal agency. Interest? Well, Conservative pays the highest interest allowed by law. Convenience? Conservative has 62 merchant locations plus 3 convenient offices. Use Conservative's TMS account like a bank account with interest. Convenience, safety, and the highest possible interest. Your dollars make more sense at Conservative Savings and Loan.
Channel 7's the one.
Ranked Alabama a loser to Nebraska. Number 4 ranked Notre Dame holding its breath against Ole Miss. 10th ranked Maryland victimized by West Virginia. 3 of the top stories on this day in college football. This is the Prudential College Scoreboard, brought to you by Prudential. For life, health, auto, or home insurance, when you think about your financial security, see a Prudential agent. Get a piece of the rock, Prudential Insurance. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dave Dials in New York, and I'd like to introduce you to my new broadcast partner on the Prudential College Scoreboard this year, the western half of the nation. Got to see you last week, but now all over the east. Andrea Kirby out of Russellville, Alabama.
And all sorts of places south of there, and you're surrounded by loveliness.
Sure are. As is the case every Saturday here on ABC, our girls are in contact with press boxes all across the country, not only getting scores in here for us, but giving them out to press boxes. And we, of course, have our capable staff of researchers on hand. Let's get right to the top 10. Michigan with its 10th straight 100,000-plus crowd today, but Duke made it an interesting afternoon. Michigan prevailed, though, 21-9. Rick Leach had 2 touchdowns. Southern Cal, ranked number 2, will play Oregon State in Corvallis, Oregon tonight. Alabama and Nebraska, many of you saw that here on ABC. Nebraska defeated the 3rd-ranked Crimson Tide 31-24. Notre Dame having a long afternoon in Jackson, Mississippi. Hoppy Langley has a field goal, but now Notre Dame has taken the lead in the 4th period by a score of 13-10. Ohio State, would you believe they're going to have all sorts of trouble all over Ohio? Shockwaves, 2 touchdown passes by the Buckeyes today, one by Rod Gerald and another by Gary Castagnola. Ohio State, ranked number 5, defeated Minnesota's Gophers 38-7. Ron Springs with 146 yards on the ground. Oklahoma, well, you knew after Oklahoma had that tough scare against Vanderbilt, somebody would pay for it, and Utah is. 31-0 in the 1st period, and now in the 4th period of play, it's Oklahoma 48-24. Texas Tech, ranked number 7, a winner over Virginia Tech 27-6. And tonight, that was Texas A&M. And Texas Tech tonight will take on New Mexico. Number 9 ranked Penn State had 2 weeks to get ready for this one. Houston had only 4 days, and Penn State 9th ranked the winner 31-14. Fusina 15-23, 245 yards. And the upset of the day so far, West Virginia defeated Maryland 24-16. And 10th ranked Maryland had a tough afternoon for the 2nd week in a row, and we'll be back with Scores in the East with Andrea after this.
Hello, Prudential.
Life insurance?
You'll need it. I have a piece of the rock for my car, too.
Prudential, the company more people trust with their lives, is fast becoming the company people trust with their homes and cars, too.
Oh, thank you, Prudential. Thank you. We're covered. It's going to be all right.
Talk to a Prudential agent. For life, health, auto, home.
Get a piece of the rock.
Prudential Insurance.
The Ivy League season opened today, including the first ever night game in the Ivy League, and that will be Cornell against Penn at Philadelphia tonight. But the big game in the Ivy League this afternoon, Brown and Yale, the co-champs in the Ivy League. It was Yale in a squeaker, 10-9. The highlights of this game tomorrow on College Football 77. Dartmouth and Princeton ended the season against each other. Last year, they opened against each other. This year, it was Dartmouth 14-11 over Princeton. That evens the series between the two teams at 27 victories apiece. Harvard 21 and Columbia 7. At Hamilton, New York, it was Colgate taking their second straight win of the season. Colgate 38 and Lafayette 12. And in a game seen here last week on ABC, many of you may have seen it, Pittsburgh quarterback Matt Cavanaugh broke his left wrist. Well, here's the situation on Cavanaugh. In about 10 days, he will be able to get the cast off his wrist. At that time, a decision will be made on whether or not to fit him with a playing cast. And according to the school, the decision for the most part is up to Cavanaugh himself. Today, Pittsburgh, plenty of offense behind freshman quarterback Rick Tricano, beating William & Mary 28-6.
Andrew, in the Whitney Young Scholarship game at Yankee Stadium, Grambling and Morgan State playing, and Grambling's quarterback Doug Williams has thrown 4 touchdown passes, Grambling leading in the fourth period 32-19. Tom Biddle had 3 field goals as North Carolina walloped Richmond 31-0. An upset in the South. Clemson in a driving rain beat Georgia 7-6. Georgia tried for a 2-pointer. The pass was knocked down, less than 30 seconds to play. In a mild upset, Southern Mississippi made it 2 victories this season, beating Auburn by a score of 24-13. You know, Iowa and Iowa State haven't played football in 43 years, and you ask why in Iowa, you get lots of funny reasons. Well, they played today. Iowa prevailing by a score of 12-10. Jack Thompson, the throw-in Samoan, get this, 21 out of 30, 364 yards, 2 touchdowns of Brian Kelly, and Washington State, which last week knocked off Nebraska, beats Michigan State 23-21. Ohio U stepping out of its class a bit today, trailing Purdue of the Big Ten 37-7 in the fourth period. Missouri playing Illinois, and the Illini lead 11-7 in the fourth period. Well, LSU and Indiana played back in 1924, first time since, and the reason Paul Dietzel, former LSU coach, is now the athletic director at Indiana. And LSU is leading Indiana 21-10. Incidentally, some people think Dietzel may be going back to LSU. Wisconsin leading Northern Illinois 14-3 in the fourth period. We'll be back.
I miss my wife and kid.
Yeah, after a while on the road, you get used to being away from the family. Call your wife. I'll meet you downstairs.
Hi, dear. How's everything?
Everything's fine, but the TV. I'm so glad you went to the bank before you left.
She needs me. And the more she needs you, the more you need Prudential.
Jimmy, it's Dad.
Dad, I can't go to camp if you don't pay them by Wednesday.
Be back on Tuesday. He needs me.
And the more he needs you, the more you need Prudential. Prudential, the rock. When other people count on you, you need something to count on. Something to help make sure you don't let them down, even if you're not around anymore. For 1 out of 4 insured Americans, that something is a piece of the rock.
Well, what's a good word from home?
They need me.
Me too. Talk to a Prudential agent for life, health, auto, home.
Piece of the rock.
Prudential Insurance.
Out in the Midwest, the Kansas State Wildcats have not had a winning season since 1970. That was when quarterback Lynn Dickey was the star for that team. They were shut out in their opener this year. They only won 1 game all last year. And with 8 minutes left in their game today in the fourth quarter, they are trailing Florida State 11-10. At Waco, Texas, in the first meeting of Kentucky and Baylor in 14 years, that game just about to get underway.
San Diego State and Arizona playing. San Diego State tied for the nation's second longest winning streak, 8 in a row. And that game is just now underway. Well, it's at halftime now, 0-0. Texas El Paso, on the other hand, has lost 12 in a row, tied with TCU for the longest losing streak in the nation. Wyoming leads UTEP 9-0 second period. San Jose State and Washington, each a loser the first time out in the first period, and Washington leads 7-0. The Air Force in California in the second period, and the Golden Bears of California lead 7-0. We just got an update. Ole Miss has taken the lead over Notre Dame 20-13. We'll be right back.
Great, having a backyard big enough to practice the old chip shot.
Hello, Prudential.
Life insurance?
We got a piece of the rock for our home, too.
Prudential, the company more people trust with their lives, is fast becoming the company people trust with their homes and cars, too.
That fast, huh? Thanks, Prudential.
For life, health, auto, home.
Get a piece of the rock.
Prudential Insurance.
Repeating that update, Notre Dame and Ole Miss with 1.5 minutes to play. It's Ole Miss 20 and Notre Dame 13. Temple beat Drake 42-0. One man, Anthony Anderson, got 217 yards. And last night, Jim Freitas of Long Beach State threw 7 touchdown passes as his team defeated Fullerton 50-31. Andrea, thank you so much for being with us. I've enjoyed it.
See you next week.
All right, those of you out there, there's a lot of night games tonight, so get out and see a game in your area and support the college team of your choice. We'll see you next Saturday after football on ABC. The Prudential College Scoreboard has been brought to you by Prudential. For life, health, auto, or home insurance, when you think about your financial security, see a Prudential agent. Get a piece of the rock. Prudential Insurance. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.
Monday, Charlie's Angels meet the Beach Bums, and a beauty contest goes bananas on the premiere of the new comedy series, The San Pedro Beach Bums, followed by the season opener of NFL Monday Night Football, the 49ers versus the Steelers. Watch Monday on ABC.
See the top of the First Federal Lincoln scoreboard? See where it says that's good for 3? That's right, that's 3. 3 extra point gifts to choose from when you save at First Federal Lincoln now. Get this vinyl football jacket or sport blanket with carrying case or headset radio. Go with the winner. Save at First Federal Lincoln and go for the extra points.
First Federal Lincoln wants to help your dreams come true. First Federal Lincoln.
The Goodyear American Eagle Radio, on sale. Buy one at regular price, get the second one at half price. The American Eagle with FlexGen cord belts, made from a man-made aramid fiber that's pound for pound stronger than steel. Now, buy one, get the second one at half price.
Touch, the first computer TV. Magnavox Touch Tune Color Television. Touch, and lock in computer sharp color, computer fast. Touch, no need to fine-tune ever. Computer-controlled color. Touch, even by remote. Star System Touch Tune Color Television from Magnavox.
Time to trade in for Touch Tune. Trade in your old TV for any new Magnavox Touch Tune Color Television and save big.
Alabama football, which has helped make the university world famous, is a firm support to the school's basic endeavor, instruction. Revenue from football finances other sports and recreation for all students, enabling the institution to allot a greater share of its income to the primary purpose of teaching in all areas.
Nebraska threatening. 3rd down at the Alabama 3-yard line. The last team to score 30 points on Alabama was Nebraska, when the Huskers beat them in the Orange Bowl, January 1, 1972, 38-6.
There's been a lot of offense in all of their games.
3rd down, they need almost 3 yards for a first down, 3 yards for a touchdown. Garcia wants to throw it, going to run it now. Cuts it back inside, penalty flag. He goes down just short of the goal line, and we've got a penalty flag thrown in the end zone. We might have a holding call over there, and I don't know who it'll be against. Let's see. It's against Alabama. Half the distance will set up 3rd down and very, very short yardage for a possible first down. I don't think it will not, for a fact, give them a first down. Puts them on the 1-yard line, and to get a first down, they're going to have to go to 6 inches away from the goal line. So with 7:39 to play in the game, Nebraska 24, Alabama 24. Nebraska with the ball at the Alabama 1. and I'll say they can get a first down without scoring. Just barely. Burns is deep in the I formation. Garcia dives. Does not have a touchdown. Does he have a first down? That's the question.
Middle linebacker made a fantastic play to stop him from scoring. If indeed he did.
All depends on where they put it. They are short of the first down, I do believe. They will measure to make sure. Gilliland and Krause, very obvious on that play. Just short of the first down. Just short. Now the people under the gun are the big guys in the trenches. What do? Do you send your fullback in first and let Burns follow him? Garcia has the play on the sideline. Here he comes. It is fourth down. They need 6 inches for a first down. They need a foot for the touchdown.
They're not likely to go with the sneak again since they just stopped. They take a lot of courage to call the sneak again. They may have it.
Alabama goes down solid up front. Burns, touchdown! Tackle had marked Dufresne, the tight end on the left side. He went right over the top of them as they collapsed on the Alabama defensive lineman, and Rick put it in, and he looked shaken up when he left the field. The snap for Todd. Low snap, handled well by Garcia, and it is good. With 7 minutes and 12 seconds to play in the game, Nebraska 31, Alabama 24.
Chevrolet announces a lot more Chevette for a lot less money. New Chevette standard equipment includes a radio, white wall tires, console, sports steering wheel, 1.6-liter engine, 17 new standard features in all. Front bucket seats, plus a wide hatch, carpeting, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, and more. The 78 Chevy Chevette. A lot more Chevette for a lot less money.
Schlitz wants you to have a ball. Pass the word, pass the word.
Hey, now's the time to pick up plenty of Schlitz.
Pass the word, pass the word, pass the word.
Because the Schlitz football offer is here. Look for this display at participating stores and save up to $5 on an official Wilson football. Come on.
Pick up Schlitz and have a ball. Pass the word, pass the word.
Well, the folks in Lincoln are happy. Now let's see what the Nebraska defense can do with the Alabama offense as Billy Todd gets ready to kick to Major Ogilvy and Tony Nathan. It's Ogilvy. He spins around and gets control of it at the 11. Got a wall. Down he goes. Good return. He's out to the 28-yard line. And you want to see a football player fly? Watch number 35.
That's the great thing about the I formation. You can lead with your big fullback and hand the ball off deep, no chance of a fumble, and get plenty of time to jump over.
127 yards rushing now for Burns, 10 yards receiving, 35 in passing. That's total yardage of 162 that he's accounted for in the game now. Remember that nifty little pass that he delivered, too.
This game will give him a lot of confidence.
Yes, it will. It's at the 29 of Alabama. First down for the Tide. 7:05 to play in the game. They trail by 7. They give it to Nathan. And Nathan runs into Jeff Carpenter, tumbles him over the 35 to about the 37. So that's a good solid gain of almost 9 yards.
Look at the scoring drive of 80 yards. That's the only drive I think they've taken over 9 plays. That was really a good, solid drive with no mistakes.
And 5 minutes plus in doing it. Time not quite yet a factor, but it will be very shortly. At the 37, second down, 2. Rutledge to Nathan. But at second effort, the surge, and he's close to the first down. Ted Harvey came up to hit him. Nathan weighs 198 pounds. Now, he's nothing timid about him. He can take you down.
He wasn't expected the safety man to be there. He should have been blocked by the tight end. Somehow the tight end didn't get out. He was looking, when he got the pitch, he was ready to go.
And Tony got the first down. 15 carries, 76 yards for him. First down at the 39. Rutledge gives it off to Davis. And Davis chunks it over the 40. Out about the 42. That'll be 3 yards for him. Working out of the I formation again. They've done it a number of times. There's Rick Burns on the sidelines. His running total on the day. 2nd and 7 coming up from near the 42 for Alabama. Time now running along at 5:50 to go in the game, and the Huskers lead 31-24. Rutledge stands to throw. Whips it. It's incomplete. Penalty on it. Interference called against Ted Harvey, number 31. Keith Pugh, number 4, was the intended receiver, and Harvey's getting a little tired of the picking on him, so he went in there and clinched him, and he got there just a tad too soon.
It was a quick look-in pass, and the defense that Nebraska are playing are forcing all pass receivers to the inside, and Alabama's going to have to throw inside, but it's tempting for that defensive halfback like Harvey did to charge up when that end slants inside quickly. It's just a quick slant-in pass, and it's just too tempting for the defensive back to stay off on him. But he did get his hands on him before the ball got there. Pass interference, first down.
And it's a first down just inside Nebraska territory, just over the 50 for Alabama. Nebraska encroaching on the play. Nathan gets outside. And he has his legs knocked from under him by Tim Fisher, number 16, down around the 36-yard line. There was encroachment by a Nebraska lineman inside.
They had a pass rush on Keith. The linebacker was right up in the line, and they're not used to being that close, and they got across the neutral zone and were offside.
They'll take the play. It is good for another first down. Call it the Nebraska 35-yard line. And Lance Benzat, who is the new defensive coordinator for Nebraska, is a gambling coach.
He was blitzing thinking Alabama was going to throw on first down. They were man-for-man coverage, and therefore the option went for a big gain.
And you have 5:20 to play in the game. Alabama's on the march again. They trail by 7. Rutledge keeps. Gets some out of it as Jeff is brought down by Lee Kuntz and Jeff Carpenter, the 2 linebackers for Nebraska. The advance of the ball from the 35 to the 32 for 3 yards.
I think that Lance was figuring in the first half, the statistics showed that Alabama threw on first down 8 out of 20 possessions and possibilities, and so you blitz on first down if that's what the statistics tell you.
Ozzie Newsome going off to the right side. Rick Neal will be the tight end at the left side. Newsome is also playing a tight end position. And the pitch is to Nathan, back to Rutledge. Rutledge wants to go deep. He throws instead to the sidelines, and bounces it into Bruce Bolton. The ball bounced before Bruce could get it. He sent Ozzie Newsome on a fly deep from the tight end position, and he tried to go to Bolton short and just missed him.
Actually, on the pattern, they had 2-on-1, and both the defensive backs of Nebraska went to cover the deep man and left the short man wide open, and Rutledge saw it, but he just couldn't get the ball there.
Bruce really trying, though. He was reaching, wasn't he? That's reminiscent of the touchdown that UCLA almost had in the end zone last Monday night against Houston.
The biggest play of the game right here.
3rd down and 7. Rutledge is throwing for Newsome. It is incomplete. Velocic came over to help out Tim Fisher, and they knock it away. And little Larry Velocic, 5'10", 160-pound senior from Silver Creek, Nebraska.
That was a great call defensively, Keith. They invited Rutledge to throw the out pattern. He audibilized, but then they changed their defense. So he goes back to their second choice, but they're covered there also.
And Alabama calls time, which means they have 2 timeouts left. Nebraska, 2 timeouts left. And watch number 4 come into the picture now. 16 was there, but Velocic is the fellow who comes over with a big leap right here.
You know, he just got his hand on great play. Newsom was going up after it. He wanted that football.
When you beat Newsom, you have done something. He's a tough fellow. Alabama now has won 79 plays to 65 for Nebraska. Coming up next on ABC's Wide World of Sports, World Lightweight Boxing Championship with Roberto Duran defending against Edwin Viruet. You'll also have the Women's AAU Platform Diving Championship from Woodlands outside of Houston, Texas. That'll be 5 on the West Coast, 5 p.m., and following the Prudential College School Board over the rest of the country.
Keith, right here, Alabama have got to decide as to exactly what pass they're going to throw. They're not going to give them the out pass, and they're going to drop the linebackers deep because they're not going to worry about the run fake. So it makes it tough. This is a tough call.
4th down and 7 from the 32. Rutledge goes over the middle. It is intercepted. Intercepted by Jim Pillen. Penalty flag down. Holding Alabama. Nebraska will take the ball. That is the 4th interception of Jeff Rutledge.
When you throw down the middle, you have to throw it on rhythm. Rutledge was a little bit late. He had a man wide open against the 2-deep zone. Couldn't get the ball to him. The defense reacted. But you'll see the receiver down the middle was wide open momentarily. But you have to time it. Here's the tight end. He's wide open. He's wide open. But time the ball gets there, Avery broken and on the throw.
4:14 to go in the game. Now time becomes an ally of Nebraska. From the 29-yard line, first down, and the crowd goes very quiet to let the quarterback talk to the halfbacks, and it's I.M. Hip popping out of there. And I think Rick Burns might have been shaken up when he went over for the touchdown because he went gingerly to the sidelines. And so Isaiah M. Hip is in at the deep back position for Nebraska, and he gets it up across the 30 to the 32.
An average back would have taken a loss. He ran in the strength of the defense, safety and linebacker scraped, and he jumped over both of them.
You saw 29 on the sidelines, Pillen, who had made that big interception for Nebraska. 2nd down and 7 from the 32.